for game number 2 of today's doubleheader between the Matsu Miners and the Anchorage Bucs. The Bucs claiming game 1, in which was a tight contest that ran all the way to the wire. The Bucs did win in a walk-off, however, 4-3. So that improved their record to 500, 5-5, and the Miners dropped to 4-6 so far on the season. And the Bucs looking to take care of this home field advantage here in game 2. Running through your lineups is leading things off, playing short, is Drew Swift, followed by the man behind the plate, Austin Pinarini. At third, or rather batting third, designated hitting Spencer Henson in the cleanup spot is playing right, Hunter Jump, followed by the first baseman Aaron Walters and third baseman Tyler Bozetti, and then over playing Danny Wright, followed by Kona Quiggle, and rounding things out in center field is Braden Merritt. So standing into the plate is the shortstop from Arizona, and he'll face Casey O'Sullivan, the tall right-hander from the Bucs. And Swift will take strike 1. And we have begun game 2 of today's doubleheader between the Miners and the Bucs. Swift stands in. We got a righty-on-righty matchup to start today. And he'll look at a ball inside. So the lights are on here at Malkany, which is weird. Don't really get to see that a lot here in Alaskan Baseball League. And the 1-1 is grounded hard over to the third baseman. Correa throws over to first in time to get out number 1 of the game. So the Miners, Drew Swift grounds out. And that brings up the catcher, number 20, Austin Pinarini, the left-handed hitting out of Gonzaga. Pinarini coming into game number 2 is 5 of 20. Came into pinch hit in game number 1 as he looks at a strike on that low outside corner. Pinarini came into pinch hit, struck out unfortunately as he came in the top of the 7th, trying to rally the Miners. He's down 0-1. O'Sullivan's pitch is fouled straight back into the cage. Pinarini out of Everett, Washington, where he played for Cascade High School and batted .460 in his senior campaign. Definitely seeing the ball well back in prep school, as he's down 0-2 with 1 down, and he'll swing through for strike number 3. So 2 up and 2 down to start off this game number 2 for the Miners. And that brings up the designated hitter of the evening, Spencer Henson. Henson standing in from the right side of the plate from Oral Roberts and hails from Locust Grove, Oklahoma. So once again, another righty-on-righty matchup as O'Sullivan winds and broken bat grounder over to third base as Correa tosses across the diamond for out number 3. So Correa getting some work over there, had 2 putouts rather, over there at third. So the Miners are set down in order to begin this game number 2 of the doubleheader between the Miners and Bucs. Still scoreless after half inning. Bottom half of the first inning here on Matsu Miner Radio. Welcome into the home half of the first inning here in Mulkey Stadium. And it's the Bucs' time to bring the bats out. Miners set down in order, and they'll be facing right-handed pitcher Jonathan Guardado, making his second start of the season. He winds and delivers a first pitch strike on the lower edge to Jace Vanderbeek, the designated hitter. After Vanderbeek's at-bat is up, we'll run through the Bucs order. So 0-1 early for Guardado. Guardado back in his first start as Vanderbeek fouls one well over to the left side. Guardado back in his first start was against the Chinooks, where he went 3 2/3, gave up 2 runs, both earned, 4 hits, walked 1, and had 5 strikeouts. Ended up becoming the losing pitcher in that night, as the Miners were almost actually no hit that evening as Guardado misses away. Counts at 1-2. Miners took them until the 9th inning to finally get their first hit aboard. So Guardado ahead in the count, however, to start tonight, 1-2. He misses low and in the turf. Ties up the count at 2. Vanderbeek did play last game as well in game 1. Went 0 for 3. Did draw a walk, however, as Guardado's pitch just barely misses inside. Vanderbeek has worked a full count to begin the Bucs batters. And a little disappointment from the traveling Miners crowd in that Miners bench. But Guardado winds and fires the full count. Is lined into right center field on his horse and ranging over his jump to retrieve it. So Vanderbeek starts this game off with a leadoff single. That'll bring up the right fielder Logan Enos. And we'll run through the Bucs starters real quick for you. Vanderbeek leading off, the designated hitter, followed by the right fielder Logan Enos and the third baseman J.C. Correa. In the cleanup spots, the first baseman Veith, followed by the center fielder Brendan Bro, followed by the second baseman Tanner Treadaway, and in left field, batting 7th, Daniel Fredrickson, as a ground ball over to Walters, thrown over to Swift and back to first, but that throw is not in time. So there's a ground ball over to Walters, who threw over to second to get the first out of the inning. Swift tried to twist the double play. Didn't quite work. And the last two in the Bucs order is Sladen Mole and Dimitri Colaccio. So one down now for the Miners in this bottom half of the first inning. And Enos now on first with the fielder's choice. And stepping in is J.C. Correa, who walked it off last game with a nice hit over to right field as he looks at a strike one in the lower part of the plate. One down, no score in this home half of the first inning. Correa came on. There was runners on the corners. And there was thought that the Miners may load the bases up as Guardado misses low, bring the count to 1-1. There was thought that they were going to walk Correa as well, as Erlab went to talk to his reliever Bryce Tassin, but they decided to pitch to him in first pitch. Correa made him pay. And that made the Bucs victors of game 1. Guardado misses low and away for ball 2. Count has moved to 2-1. One down, bottom of the first inning here in game 2 of today's doubleheader between the Miners and the Bucs. Bucs coming up victorious in the last game, 4-3. Guardado kicks and fires, misses low and away. Correa has worked his way into a hitter's count. J.C. Correa, the younger brother of Carlos Correa, who plays for the Astros. Correa was actually drafted in the 33rd round by the Astros. As he looked at what he thought was ball 4, home plate umpire decided otherwise. Strike number 2, the count is full. Correa turned, tossed the bat, was halfway down the first base line, and that's not going to make the umpire happy, Connor.
Well, if anything is close, you know it's going to be a strike. You never want to show up the umpire like that. Maybe a couple steps, but he was halfway down the line.
Yeah, and didn't even turn once he heard the call until a few steps after. Nevertheless, we have a full count. Man on first. Guardado checks him from the belt. The 3-2 pitch with the man on a move is bounced over to third to Danny Wright, who grabs it in foul territory. So the count will stay full with one down in the bottom half of the first inning. Still scoreless. So standing back in, readjusting his batting gloves, and stepping in is Correa. Full count, one down. Bardado's pitch is lined, soft liner, shallow right field. Moving over to his left near the foul line is Hunter Jump to make the catch for out number 2. So the Bucs had a hit and run on, but unfortunately, Enos will have to head back to first after the flyout. They're your defensive starters for the Miners. Behind the plate is Austin Pinarini. Over at third is Danny Wright. At short, Drew Swift. At second, Tyler Bozzetti. At first, Aaron Walters. And in the outfield, in left is Kona Quiggle. Center, Braden Merritt. And over in right is Hunter Jump.
Interesting to see Danny Wright make a start at third base.
And Veith rockets one over to second. The one-hopper is collected by Bozzetti. Thrown over to first for out number 3. So Guardado with the hot start to begin game number 2. And both sides go down in 3. When we come back, well, the second inning, that's Sioux Miners Radio. Game number 2 still scoreless as we enter inning number 2 between the Miners and the Bucs. And the Miners trying to avenge a walk-off loss in game number 1. And right now, scoreless. The Miners went 3 up, 3 down back in the first inning. And they'll bring up their cleanup hitter, Hunter Jump, playing right, who just made a nice play on the defensive side. Jump coming into this game, 9 of 35 so far. Came around to score twice and has driven in 6. So his first pitch from Sullivan has Jump fouling it back over to the left side. Hunter Jump had quite the rookie campaign. Didn't get many starts till later in the year. But when he did, batted .370 with a .418 on-base percentage. So he looks at a high inside strike to bring the count to 0-2. The Hunter Jump definitely the pop in his bat. The Sun Devils just couldn't keep him on the bench, and he worked his way into the lineup. He's fallen behind 0-2, but looks at a ball high and away to bring the count to 1-2.
And it's an interesting story on how he got into that lineup. It was a bet with one of the coaches. If he could hit 87 on the radar gun off the mound, he'd get in the lineup. First pitch was 85. And second one, he did hit 87. And he never came out of the lineup since.
As Jump fouls one back to bring the count to 1-2. That really is a great story, but hey, competitive nature, you know you can do it. You tell your coach to do it, and if the bet works, it works. So the 1-2 from Jump is flied out into shallow left field. Camped under it is the shortstop Calaccio, and he'll grab it for out number 1. So Hunter Jump, fortunately, retired to start the inning. And you got to love those stories when guys really want to make that way into the starting lineup. They're doing everything they can, and then next thing they're in the lineup because of a pitch when he's an outfielder.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the strangest thing. So Aaron Walters will step in, the left-handed hitting first baseman, swings through a first pitch strike. And Walters, one of those late incomers for the Miners, only 3 of 27 so far in this young season as he looks at a ball blown away. Man on the mound, Casey O'Sullivan, out of Spring Valley, California, attends San Diego State. So his 1-1 pitch is flied over to the left side. O'Sullivan has started one game before this. He went 3 1/3, where he on June 10th against the Oilers, 1 run, which was earned, gave up on just 1 hit, had 1 strikeout and walked 3, and that was back in his first start as Walters flies one over to the left side for another foul. Count will stay at 1-2 with 1 down in the top of the second inning. O'Sullivan had a great start, just couldn't go that long, and unfortunately gave up a run on 1 hit. So Walters looks at a ball blown away. Count moves to 2-2. We're still scoreless in this top half of the second inning. O'Sullivan, the righty, facing the left-hander Aaron Walters with 1 out. The 2-2 pitch is line grounded over to shortstop, range to his left, and throwing over to first just in the nick of time for out number 2 is Calaccio. So 2 down for the Miners. They're still in search of their first hit of the game.
Now, the one thing I noticed about Walters, he's got to get his timing down. He's been a little late on the past couple pitches. He'll get it, but it takes some time to see some pitches and time up a pitcher.
So that'll bring up the second baseman, Tyler Bozzetti. We've seen Bozzetti at third for most of his minor career so far. He looks at a first pitch strike inside. Bring the count to 0-1. Bozzetti has played 1 game at short, now 1 game at second. Just needs to move over to first to complete all 4 positions. The 0-1 to Bozzetti is hardly grounded right up the alley. That'll be a base hit, and the Miners get their first man on board in this game number 2 of the doubleheader.
No, that's always a good hit right back up the middle.
That brings up this game's third baseman, Danny Wright.
Danny's been batting from the left side a lot, as we've seen a lot of right-handed pitchers. It's where he has most of his success.
And still lefty in there as he faces Sullivan. Looks at a strike that's pretty high to bring the count to 1-0. 2 down. Miners finally getting their first runner on in Tyler Bozzetti. He stands over there at first. Danny Wright definitely coming into today. A really great start to the minor season. Didn't quite have a great game 1. So he looks at a strike blown away. And they'll check over to first at Bozzetti. Dives back in time. Wright did reach twice, or rather once. He came around to score. But overall, he finished 0-for-3 as he hardly bounces one just by the first baseman Veith on his horse. And over to third is Tyler Bozzetti. Well, he'll reach on an errant throw. And Danny Wright will slide into second on the throw as well. So 2 out. Double for Danny Wright here in the top half of the second inning. And Kona Quiggle, the left-handed hitting left fielder, will stand in.
It was a really good base hit for Danny Wright. It's going to be a single. Bounces on the throw. But now a big opportunity for Kona Quiggle here to kind of redeem himself from game 1.
Yeah, Quiggle being set down on strikes twice, I believe. Rather, my wonderful partner telling me 3 times is I'm wrong. Not the first time I've been wrong in my life.
We all make some mistakes.
Yeah. So runners on second and third, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Counts 1-0 to Quiggle. O'Sullivan's pitch misses low and in. Quiggle bouncing back to avoid that one. The Miners in the green jerseys here in game 2. The white pants, green cap with yellow numbering and white stripes. Or white outlining of the numbers. So O'Sullivan comes set, delivers hard ground ball over to second base, swallowed up and tossed over by Treadaway to Veith for out number 3 of the inning. The Miners get a couple on, actually get them in scoring position, but unfortunately don't do anything with it. And we're still scoreless through an inning and a half on Matsu Minor Radio. Still scoreless through an inning and a half here up in Anchorage, Alaska, in Mulkey Stadium. Between the Miners and the Bucs, Guardado stands on the mound. He'll face this inning's leadoff batter, center fielder Brennan Bro. He'll look at a low and outside ball. Bro comes into this at-bat with just 7 hits so far on the season for 1 double. Has 4 RBIs to tack on, and give him number 8 as he lines one into right field, well over the head of Tyler Bozzetti to lead off the inning. So that's back-to-back innings now to start the game. The Bucs have gotten their leadoff hitter on. Didn't quite do anything with it last inning. And Tanner Treadaway will step in, the second baseman. And now 2 innings in a row. Jonathan Guardado going to have to work out of the stretch. Guardado out of the University of Arizona, La Puente, California. West Coast kid. He delivers a ball low and away. Guardado actually did more than just baseball in his time in high school. Also lettered in football, and he actually earned all-league honors in 2015 and 16. So a little all-around athlete out of Jonathan Guardado. He delivers the 1-0 in for a strike to bring the count to 1-1. Guardado at Arizona, 17 appearances, 19 2/3 innings pitched, had a 5.49 ERA, 13 strikeouts, 19 hits given up, and 11 walks issued. He sits at a 1-1 count against Tanner Treadaway. Kicks and fires for a strike that hits that outside corner. Counts at 1-2. Nobody out in the bottom of the second inning. Still scoreless. Both teams with 2 hits, but nothing to show of it so far. Lights are on here in Mulkey, here in this chilly Saturday night game 2 of action. Guardado misses the 1-2, bouncing in the turf.
And it was a good pick from Pinarini. Would like to see him get his body in front of him instead of just kind of throwing the glove out there. But it was good. On
a tough fastball, sometimes it's quicker to get that reflection, but you're right. You would love to see that body in case you can't get the deflection. So Guardado comes set from the belt. His 2-2 breaking pitch nails the outside corner for a called strike 3. Guardado retires the first out for the Bucs. Nice breaking pitch from Jonathan Guardado for his first strikeout of the night. First out of the inning. So Guardado is now up to 6 strikeouts on the year. Had 5 back in his first start. And that brings up the left-handed hitting left fielder Daniel Fredrickson. Fredrickson standing in a little bit of a close stance. He flies one up. That one's heading for the moon in the middle of the infield. Calling everybody off as Drew Swift makes the one-handed snag for out number 2. So Guardado makes quick work of Daniel Fredrickson. That brings up Sladen Mole as the Bucs still with a runner on first. We have no score in the bottom of the second inning. 2 down for the right-handed hitting Sladen Mole. Mole behind the plate. Sort of a rough start. Hasn't played too much this season. Only 1 of 14. And his 15th at-bat has started out by flying one over to the right side for strike number 1. So Sladen Mole standing in. Mole he's out of Anchorage, Alaska. Attends Lewis and Clark State. So a hometown guy. The 0-1. Just misses that inside corner. For ball 1. One from the belt. Guardado delivers. Once again, flied over to that right side. Bring the count to 1-2. 2 down. Bottom of the second inning. The Bucs looking to tack on the first run of the game. But Sladen Mole is down on the count 1-2 with 2 outs. Guardado has him where he wants him. He comes set once again. And the delivery is grounded softly over to second. Bozzetti makes the easy play for out number 3. So 4 pairs of zeros to the first 2 innings. Still scoreless as we move into the 3rd inning on Matsu Minor Radio. Zero zero is your score after 2 innings of play here at Mulkany Stadium. In game 2 of today's doubleheader, the Bucs coming atop of game 1, 4-3, in which was really a pitching duel, as we only saw 8 hits to 5 hits. The Miners with 8, Bucs with 5. Really, the scoring for the Bucs was done in spurts. They scored 3 times in the 4th inning, and then scored that walk-off run in the 7th, and then the Miners scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. So really was, for the most part, pitchers were locked in. And so far in this game, number 2, we're seeing much of the same. Braden Merritt stands in and tries to drag bunt, but will foul it off to the left side. Merritt, the left-handed hitting center fielder out of New Mexico, by way of Chandler, Arizona, where he was actually high school teammates with starting shortstop Drew Swift. He swings through the 0-1, moves the count to 0-2. Merritt coming into this one had 5 strikeouts, so not too many. And kind of splitting time with the outfielders for the Miners. Sullivan's 0-2, misses low and in. Merritt kind of has to hop back to get out of that one. We're under the lights in Mulkany right now, which is weird to see considering sun probably won't set for another few hours here in Alaska. Nevertheless, it's nice to have the little extra light as it is cloudy. O'Sullivan misses high and away. Count sits at 2-2. Merritt actually played football in high school as a 3-year letterman at safety and said he had some time at outside linebacker. Waves at strike 3, so Merritt is set down for out number 1 of the inning.
A tough pitch to go after there. Little high, little outside.
So that brings up the shortstop, Drew Swift. Swift grounded out back in his first at-bat. Swift in game number 1 went 1 for 4, had the RBI on a fielder's choice, and he grounds one foul over to the left side. So he fouls down on the count 0-1. Swift standing in, very talented shortstop out of Arizona State. Almost actually was not offered by Arizona State, as the 0-1 from Sullivan misses high and in, bring the count to 1-1 with 1 down, top of the 3rd inning, no score. They didn't have a spot for him, the head coach from Arizona State said, but they really wanted Swift. Swift said it was his dream school since he was little, always went to games in Tempe. And then once one of their recruits got drafted and decided to go pro, there was a spot opened up for Swift, and both parties were really thrilled to have Swift come in. And he definitely played a lot at short this past spring, playing in 55 games. 54 of those were starts, as O'Sullivan missed high inside for a ball. Now paints that outer edge for a strike. So 2-2 count with 1 down in the 3rd inning. And I'm sure head coach Ben Taylor feels the same way. Very glad we have Swift on the team. The 2-2 from O'Sullivan misses low. Counts full with 1 out.
And it seems like Swift and Ben Taylor have a good relationship right now. And, of course, he's impressed with the way that Swift has played at short. He's very sure-handed there, very quick, with the release, strong arm, everything you want in a shortstop.
And he's doing a great job. The leadoff batter really is doing well, working counts as he lines one, just misses over the foul side. So count stays full with one down in the top of the third. 0-0. But yeah, as you just mentioned, a really good relationship. Swift's been very reliable at short. Works pitchers at the leadoff spot. Always puts the ball in play, it seems like. So with 3-2, O'Sullivan misses high and inside. The ball will actually roll to the backstop. So Swift will sprint down to first and he'll hold up, thinking maybe there could have been a slight chance. So Drew Swift reaches on the walk. Nice at bat there from Swift.
It was. You work those deep counts, you get on base. As a leadoff guy, it doesn't matter how you get on as long as you're on, and you can use that speed to then steal a couple bases.
That brings up the left-handed catcher, Austin Pianarini. Righty on lefty matchup. Sullivan, the right-handed thrower, against the lefty Pianarini. He misses outside for ball one. Swift, an aggressive secondary lead there. Almost thought as if he was going to go. He already did test the arm of Mole, or rather, the arm of Ruiz back in the first game. Got a stolen base. Wondering if he'll try Mole's arm. Swift stolen 4 already on the year. That's one more than he did, or rather 5 on the year now. That's 2 more than he did back at Arizona State this past spring. And he's on the move again. And the ball is in there for a strike. Mole tried to come up with it and throw down, but the bobbled right as he came up out of the crouch. So Swift dives in for stolen base number 6 on the season. There's that Swift speed. So with one down, the Miners have a runner in scoring position. And really, they're top of the lineup right now. This is a prime position to pounce on the Bucs early. As O'Sullivan comes set, he checks Swift, kicks and fires. Pianarini fouls one well over to the left side. That one was actually high and over those lights just over on the left side of the field. Hard to really see the crowd here from the box, as kind of a roofed over most of it. But by the sounds and noises, there is a good crowd out there for both sides. Still, wind is still howling coming in from center field. As Pianarini swings through strike 3, the ball was in the turf, so they'll have to throw down, and Swift will advance to third on the strikeout. But Pianarini is set down on strikes for out number 2 of the inning.
That brings up the always dangerous hitter, Spencer Henson. Everybody calling him Bubba, loves to have him back. Was a big part of the community last year and has already made an impact in now 4 games.
And batting, now if you include his first at-bat back in the first inning, batting 5 of 12, just under 500, just to start the season. Everybody loves Spencer Henson. As this ball is in the dirt, blocked very nicely by Mole. Spencer holds up his left hand to tell Swift to hold up at third. No score in top of the third inning. 2 down. Counts at 1-0. Drew Swift stands on third. He reached on a walk, stole second, then advanced on a pass ball. So the 1-0 from Sullivan misses low. Count has worked at 2-0. As dangerous as Henson is, they may try to pitch around him, try to get him to bite. And with no score, the Miners definitely like to take a lead early. This pitch misses low and away for ball number 3.
And I always notice that's kind of his routine. He has a little backwards lunge coming out of the plate. Keeps that back foot planted and then stretches it out a little bit.
So Sullivan sets his 3-0 delivery. Is fouled just off to the left side. So hitters count for Spencer Henson, 3-1. And the Miners, when they grabbed the lead back in game 1 in the 4th inning, the Bucs came back in the bottom half of that 3rd inning to grab 3 to give them the lead. Then the Miners slowly worked their way back to a tie, scoring 1 in the 5th and 6th, or rather 2 in the 5th and 6th, and then in that 7th, when the Bucs walked it off, Henson grounds one foul over the left side. So count has now been worked to full. Sullivan, after falling behind early, has now worked his way back into a full count.
It's a little too far ahead of the pitch. Might be a little change up that they're throwing him, keeping him off balance.
But Sullivan comes set. The payoff pitch with 2 outs is lined into center field. That's going to make its way to the wall. Jogging in and scoring is Drew Swift on his horse. And running into second is Spencer Henson. So the man they call Bubba delivers again.
Big old Bubba.
Big
hit from him.
As you mentioned, big hit with 2 outs to give the Miners the first lead and first run of the ball game. They're now ahead 1-0 in this top of the 3rd inning. And it took them 4 innings to grab their first run. This time only 3. And the inning's still alive, only 2 outs. That's going to bring up the left-hander hitting Hunter Jump.
Let's see if the Miners can score more than 1. They scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th in game 1. Let's see if they can score 2 runs in 1 inning.
So Jump stands in, righty on lefty matchup. Sullivan's first pitch misses low and away. And Henson was fired up after he sprinted into second. Nice hand claps and then made some gesture back at the dugout. Wasn't quite sure what it was. Sure they have it all choreographed. And that dugout's definitely getting rowdy. They really want to avenge that first game loss. As O'Sullivan's pitch is low and inside to Jump. As the Miners won the first game of this season series the other day on Thursday at home in a close game, which actually got into a scuffle. Benches ended up clearing in the top half of the 3rd inning. And the Miners winning game 1 of this doubleheader, or rather the Bucs did. And the Miners want to win game 3 as Jump skies one into left field. Ranging back is the shortstop Calaccio, but coming in is Fredrickson and call him off and grab out number 3 of the inning. The Miners on 2 hits grab 1 run here to grab the lead in the top half of the 3rd inning. Miners lead the Bucs 1-0. And we'll move into the home half of the 3rd inning coming up. Welcome back into game 2 of today's doubleheader between the Miners and Bucs. Miners hold that fresh lead that they just got in the top half of this inning. 1-0 over the Bucs. Standing in is the right-handed hitting Dimitri Calaccio, the shortstop. And he actually will get hit with the first pitch. Just barely nipped him on that elbow. So 3 innings in a row. The Bucs get a man on. So that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Jace Vandebreak. So 3 innings we've played, or rather 3 innings the Bucs have batted, and 3 leadoff men have reached. That brings up Jace Vandebreak. Base hit in his last at-bat. He looks to bunt, but Guardado misses high and away. Guardado rocks the sports glasses. He's a glasses guy. Guardado, really a high recruit out of high school, going to U of A. And the man is on the move, hit and run situation, but it's fouled back by Vandebreak. Guardado is senior of high school, 14-0 with a .33 ERA and 84 2/3 pitched. Whew. Sheesh. Counts at 1-1. Nobody down. Miners lead the Bucs 1-0 in this bottom half of the first inning. Third inning. Guardado's pitch just misses inside to move the count to 2-1. Standing on first after the leadoff hit by pitch is Dimitri Palaccio. As this is a righty on lefty matchup. Guardado comes set from the belt. And he'll check over at first to keep Palaccio in check. Take a quick break to thank the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Go to a Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and enter into a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway for your chance to win. Guardado's 2-1 nails that outside edge. Tie the count at 2-2. Wind blowing in from left field. So definitely going to be hard to see a long ball tonight under the lights. The 2-2 from Guardado. His pitch is fouled, and Vandenbrake fouled that one right back. What seems to be the middle part of his body. Can't quite tell where, but he is definitely down in a crouch right now. As it bounced right back up and hit him, and that turf is bouncy, Connor. You see a lot of hops like that.
Yeah, it is. It works both ways. You know, you get a nice clean hop, but it's a bouncier ball. So you know where it's going to go. There's no question about where it is. But hurt somebody there.
And we saw even back in the first game, I forget when and who hit it, but there was a ground ball that hit off the mound and it just ricocheted. Whereas if you have dirt, that ball is just going to die instantly. But here on the turf, it's a bit harder. So Guardado deals a 2-2, lined right at Bozzetti. He makes the grab, and he'll throw back to first to double up Palaccio. So nice double play turn by the Miners. As Vandenbrake lined it hard to Bozzetti. He dropped into a crouch to make the grab and then throws back over to first for the double play. So 2 down in the inning brings up Logan Enos, the right fielder. Left-handed hitting right fielder out of New Mexico State. And he looks at a strike on that lower corner. Enos came into this game 7 of 27 for 5 runs scored and 6 RBIs. He looks at the next pitch. Counts at 1-1, 2 down, bottom of the third. Miners leading 1-0 as Enos grounds one down the right field line. And Guardado's ahead in the count 1-2. And with 2 outs and that fresh new 1-0 Miners lead, Guardado would like to bring his bats back out. He winds and fires. The 1-2 is bouncing in the turf back to Pinarini. So the count moves to 2-2. Guardado. And Enos, along with all those hitting numbers, has 2 stolen bases on the year. Pretty aggressive stealing team. The 2-2 is flied out into right center field, but that wind is bringing it back, and camped under it as Hunter Jump makes the routine play for out number 3. And the Bucs, they do get a hit. Rather, they do get a man on, but then he got doubled up. And then Enos flies out to right field for out number 3. Miners lead the Bucs 1-0. We'll move into the 4th inning on Matsu Miners Radio. Top half of the fourth inning here, Mulkey Stadium. The Miners lead the Bucs 1-0 in Game 2 of today's doubleheader. Just a friendly reminder for all you listeners back home that this will only be a 7-inning game. In the ABL, you only play 7 games in doubleheaders. So we'd like to thank all of you listening, wherever you may be. And if fans here are rewatching it, obviously we're more than happy to have you here. As Aaron Walters steps in, he'll lead off this inning and fouls one straight back. Actually hits the top of the press box. If there's no roof, that may have bounced off the top of our heads. Walters is playing first in both games now. Grounded out to short in his first at-bat. So the lefty with the open stance out of A&M looks at the first ball of this at-bat in the turf. Walters, Connor, we've been seeing these big long balls in batting practice. Just haven't seen one yet in a game as he looks at a ball low and in. But I think he's almost due.
He is almost due. And like we said, it's all about timing. He has to see the pitcher, know what he's throwing, and just get his timing down, and he'll be all right.
So Sullivan's 1-1, winds and deals, and a broken bat single out into right field by Aaron Walters. So it wasn't that huge hit that we may have thought that he was due for, but does get ahead nevertheless to lead off this inning.
Well, it was a line drive shot into right. If the right fielder would have dove for it, he might have been able to get it, but good for Walters. One hops his glove. He stands on first.
So the second baseman, Tyler Bozzetti, stands in. So we head back into a righty-on-righty matchup. Following Aaron Walters' base hit. First pitch to Bozzetti. Had the bunt pulled, but he pulled it back as that pitch was high. Bozzetti actually, his uncle actually has 2 uncles that played pro ball. One, his uncle Rick played for the Phillies, and his uncle Todd Province plays in the Blue Jays organization. Or rather, played for the Blue Jays organization. And there's a pass ball. Bozzetti tried to bunt, pulled it back. Pitch was high and flew all the way to the backstop. We have a 2-0 count with nobody out and a runner in scoring position now for the Miners. They have a chance to tack on to this 1-0 lead in the top of the fourth inning. Talking to Tyler about those influences, he said it's a great thing. He knows the tools and trades, knows kind of the way how to get to the majors. As he swings through the 2-0 pitch to bring 2-1. And Connor, what a great influence that is to have one uncle in the majors and one that's in an organization, or was an organization, I should say.
It helps when you know a guy that's on the inside. You know, if you've known a guy who's gone through the grind, gone through, what you want to go through, it always helps to know someone.
Well, Sullivan's 2-1 to Bozzetti. Has him swinging through to tie up the count at 2-2. Nobody out, man on second for the Miners. They host a 1-0 lead over the Bucs. Game number 2 of today's doubleheader. The Bucs taking game number 1 in walk-off fashion. 2-2 count. Bozzetti stands in the right side, that open stance. Sullivan's 2-2 misses low and away. Bozzetti's worked it full with nobody out. Aaron Walters stands on second. And Bozzetti does have 3 ribbies this season and 5 extra base hits. So looking to add on to both of those totals in this at-bat. Sullivan, long look in as he holds that glove up near his left side. And then comes set. Bozzetti would like some time, so Sullivan kind of took a while to come set. Shortstop Calaccio is playing close to second, keeping Walters honest. And Treadaway at second is in that outfield grass. The 3-2 to Bozzetti is called strike 3. As that just barely hit the inside part of the plate. Bozzetti didn't want to believe it. But that's out number 1 of the inning as Bozzetti set down on strikes.
Yeah, tough pitch to hit. Tough one to look at, but he's been on fire as of late. It's not going to slow him down now.
That brings up the switch hitting third baseman, Danny Wright. Wright with a big double his last at bat. He looks at a ball low. So Wright actually doubled 2 innings ago back in the second. Brought him to second and Bozetti to third, but the Miners left him stranded. This time, Wright would like to grab himself an RBI. The 1-0 from Sullivan is blasted into shallow left field. That one was very high and ranging all the way over from the shortstop position is Calaccio, who then fires down to second, and they get Walters. Walters thought he was back in time as he didn't really have a huge leadoff second. Dove back, thought he made it. As head skipper Ben Taylor has some words for the second base umpire. He walks across the diamond. So that'll end the visiting half of the fourth inning. The Miners still hold a 1-0 lead over the Bucs here on Matsumana Radio. Game 2, today's doubleheader, is still very much a lot of pitching. Very good pitching, I should say. The Miners lead the Bucs 1-0 here in the home half of the fourth inning. Guardado still on the mound for the Miners. If he can retire this side, and then the Miners hold on to the lead, he would be the winning pitcher if he got these 3 outs. As swinging through the first pitch is J.C. Carrera. He was the villain in game 1 for the Miners as he walked it off with runners on the corners in the 4-3 win. Guardado's 0-1. This is low. So Correa, who was actually drafted after 2 years at Alvin Community College, he hails from Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico. 1-1 to Correa. It's bounced over to the left side, where he batted .407 throughout his first 2 years. And really, in an interview he did about getting drafted by the Astros, he was just very honored and humbled. They believed in him that much as he fouls another one over to the left side. And his brother Carlos has gone on record in saying that he's jealous of JC's swing. Says, it's a smoother swing than I have. As Guardado delivers the 1-2 and gets Correa swinging through for strike number 3 and out number 1 of this bottom half of the fourth inning.
Well, as we get later into the night, it's going to get colder here. Guardado's been pitching through that cold very masterfully so far.
Yeah, it's been sort of a weird few days as the shift is now on for the designated hitter Jake Veith. Guardado's first pitch into Veith is lined oppo field, left center field. That's going to take a few hops to the wall. Chasing it down is left fielder Quiggle. He throws in as Veith jogs into second with a 1-out double. So the Miners had the big shift on over to the right side, bringing right over, basically playing right behind the second base bag. Swift stays at short. Bozetti playing well deep near right field. But Veith says, heck with that, I'm going the opposite way. So with 1 down, the Bucs have a man in scoring position as they trail 1-0 to the Miners. And that brings up Brennan Bro, the center fielder. He's 1 for 1 on the evening. Third baseman Wright is playing in as Guardado misses high. The Wright just playing inside that third base bag in case Bro tries to lay a bunt down. He is a lefty, so the drag bunt is definitely a likely scenario. Guardado checks second, kicks and fires. He hits that inside corner for a strike. So counts move to 1-1. Guardado from the belt is 1-1 pitch with one out here in the bottom of the fourth. It's fouled well off to the left side, out of play. This is Brad Walker, and alongside me is Connor Mills on the call. Calling game 1 and 2 and bringing your media coverage all season long for the Matsu Miners. Count is at 1-2. With one down, bottom of the fourth, Miners have a man on second. They trail 1-0. Guardado sets and fires. As Bro lines one over to the left side, just over the head of Tanner Treadaway in the on-deck circle. That could have been dangerous. Treadaway, quick skills to get out of the way of that one. So count still sits at 1-2. Guardado comes set. The big leg kick and deals. Misses high and in. Count tied up at 2. So Guardado back in his first start went 3 2/3. So he's needs one more out to tie that as we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. His Miners lead 1-0. The pitch into Treadaway misses low. So Treadaway has worked it full. Rather, Bro has worked it full. Treadaway is in the on-deck circle. No one covering the bag at second. Swift mooseying in. Counts at 3-2. Guardado will check second. And now look at the plate, and he'll miss inside to walk Brennan Bro. And now the Bucs with runners on first and second in this home half of the fourth inning.
That doesn't really do any damage. His first base was open. You never want to intentionally walk a guy. But the one good thing that does, or intentionally walk a guy, sets up a double play. So Miners very capable of doing so and look to do so here.
So as you just mentioned, one down, runners on first and second. Miners lead the Bucs 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning as Guardado misses, and now the count will move to 1-0 as well. That brings up the second baseman, Tanner Treadaway. Treadaway out of Justin, Texas. Spent last season at Seminole State in Oklahoma. So Guardado comes set. His pitch is broken bat. Ground over to second. Bozetti flips to short for one. Then the fire over from Swift at first just misses in being in time. Swift thought he had it, bouncing off the bag at second. It was close. But Treadaway with just the half step. So the Miners have 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth and the 1-0 lead.
Well, you almost wonder on that play if Bozetti could have tagged the base runner. They were on path. Bozetti fielded it right where he was running. That's when you saw he kind of backed up a little bit. And, of course, Bozetti elected to go to second, guarantee 1 out. But might have been able to get 2 if he tagged and then thrown it.
Yeah, it's always to be safe and sorry, especially when you're not giving up any runs. As there's runners on first and third with 2 down. Guardado misses high to the left fielder and left-handed hitting Daniel Fredrickson. So the count moves to 1-0. Runners on the corners for the Bucs. Heath reached on a 1-out double. Now moving over to third on the fielder's choice, and that's exactly how Tanner Treadaway reached. So Guardado's 1-0. Misses low and away for 2-0 count. Fredrickson coming into this game, 6 of 22, now 6 of 23, after flying out to Drew Swift in his last at-bat, the shortstop. Guardado's 2-0 with 2 outs. Nails that outer edge. Move the count to 2-1. Fredrickson plays his college ball at Gonzaga, where through 54 games he batted 200 and had the 2-1 from Guardado, misses high. Hitters count for Fredrickson, 3-1, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Miners leading 1-0. Guardado comes set from the belt. His pitch hits that outside corner, and Fredrickson went to throw the bat and then just kind of stared at the home plate umpire. He wanted it to be ball 4, but knew more likely it was going to be strike number 2. As I mentioned, Fredrickson, through 54 games at Gonzaga, batted 200, came in to score 13 times, and had 8 ribbies to his name. So it's a full count with 2 down in the bottom of the 4th. The payoff pitch misses low and actually bounces by Pianarini, Fredrickson's Gonzaga teammate, and the Bucs get their first run on the board to tie this game up at 1 apiece.
Tough luck for the Miners. That ball bounced away from Pianarini. It might have been ball 4, but they might have been able to save a run. Bases are loaded. Still in a sticky situation, one way or the other.
So we'll see some time as head skipper Jeff Erlab will head to the mound. And with this break in the action, we'll take a break as well. Short break. When we come back, we'll have the rest of the bottom of the 4th inning for you on Matsu Minor Radio. And we're back from that meeting with pitching coach Jeff Erlab. And new batter stepping in is Sladen Mole with 2 down, runners on the corners. The Bucs just scored a run to tie this game up at 1. Guardado's first pitch to Mole misses low. Move the count to 1-0. So Sladen Mole, the Alaska native out of Anchorage, he blasts one high into that night sky on the right side of the infield. Bozetti with a long look under it, but it finally comes to him for out number 3 of the inning. So the Bucs get 1 hit and then get 1 to score to tie this game up at 1. We'll move into the 5th inning on Matsu Minor Radio. We're at the visiting half of the 5th inning here at Malkany Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. Game 2 of today's doubleheader. The Bucs taking game 1 4-3 in walk-off style. And currently this game's tied as we move into the 5th inning. as we're only going to play 7 due to the doubleheader. Stepping into bat is left-handed hitting Kona Quiggle, who looks at an outside pitch to called strike. He was looking to bunt, pulled it back, and then was in disbelief that it was a strike. Casey O'Sullivan still working as Quiggle fouls one back over to the left side. O'Sullivan moving into his 5th inning of work. He's only given up 1 run so far on 4 hits, which has really been a pitching battle throughout the most part of this game. The 0-2 to Quiggle. He'll be rung up on an outside pitch for the first out in the top half of the 5th inning. The 4th strikeout for Casey O'Sullivan.
It's been a tough day today for Quiggle seeing the outside pitch. But there's more baseball to play.
As Braden Merritt stands in, also a lefty, looks at a pitch high for ball 1. So Merritt struck out in his last at-bat back in the 3rd inning. Came into this game 4 of 17, as came around to score once and also has 1 walk. As he looks at a ball low and in. If you can hear that, we apologize. That's that howling wind that's been coming in from left field all day long. As Merritt's down on the count, 2-0. Sullivan's pitch is shot over to shortstop, and the launch over from Colaccio is in time for out number 2 in this top half of the 5th inning. So 2 down, top of the 5th inning. That's going to bring up the leadoff batter, Drew Swift, as the Miners and Bucs are tied at 1. O'Sullivan winds and delivers. Misses high and into Swift. Swift is the only run that came around and scored for the Miners. Reached on a walk, stole a base, got over to 3rd on a pass ball, and then scored on a big RBI double from Spencer Henson. Swift launches one into right center field, and that wind slicing it right into the hands of Enos for out number 3 of this visiting half of the 5th inning. Nothing doing for the Miners. They go 3 up, 3 down, and the Bucs bats will come back up in the bottom half of the 5th inning when we come back on Matsu Miner Radio. Scores at 1-1 through 4.5 innings played here at Mulkey Stadium in Anchorage. And the Bucs will look to change that as they have slated up their 8-9-1 hitters, Mole, Colaccio, and Vandebrake. So Slade and Mole will lead things off for the Bucs. He's 0 for 1, grounded to the second baseman Bozetti in his first at-bat. So he looks at a ball low and in. So Guardado already in his longest outing of the season, went 3 2/3 back in his first start. Already through 4. As this one's lined over to the right side, foul to move the count to 1-1. So Guardado, Miners 11-2 great starts as Corrigan last game pitched well for the Miners. As Guardado's 1-1 pitch is flown out to the right side. Corrigan going 5 1/3, gave up 3 hits, but also gave up the 3 runs, which are all earned. Also had 4 strikeouts, but going deep into the ball game, which Corrigan showed, was really helpful for the Miners, only going through 2 pitchers as Guardado misses high. Fortunately, Tassin giving up the walk-off run. So Guardado's count to Mole is 2-2. The pitch is jammed by Mole and over to the right side, and making the catch is the pitcher, Guardado. And interesting to see, you rarely see the pitcher run off the mound and make the grab.
Yeah, it's rare to see, but he thought he had the best angle on it. You know, playing back was Walters, so would have been a little bit of a distance. Pop fly wasn't that high in the air, so Guardado made the executive decision and put it away himself.
Yeah, definitely. And once you see it and you almost have a feel for it, it makes sense to run and grab it. That's going to bring up Dimitri Calaccio, the shortstop. It's actually hit by a pitch back in the third inning and then was doubled up on a line drive by Vandenbrake. Guardado misses away for ball number 1. Corrigan, going back to Brady Corrigan's start, there were 107 pitches through 5 1/3, so he'll definitely need those 2 days off for some rest. As Guardado misses on the outside, 2-0. So the Miners trying to get back to one game under 500. Guardado's 2-0 nails the outside corner, bring the count to 2-1. Bring their record back to 5-6. That would push the Bucs back to 5-6. But the Bucs came into Palmer the other night as Guardado's 2-1s delivered, just misses on the outer edge to move the count to 3-1. Palmer the other night on a 3-game win streak faced the home team Miners, which were down 4 at that point, 4 losses that is, and the Miners were victorious. As we see a soft liner out to left field, and just taking a few steps over to catch it is Kona Quiggle in left for out number 2 of the inning. That brings up Jace Vandenbrake. So Vandenbrake, just a little note about his last name. If they had their last name Stitch, which I'm sure he does at school he attends, which I'm sure he does at Gonzaga, it's probably about a half circle as he looks at a strike on the inside part of the plate. Looks at a ball blowing away. What do you think, Connor? Half circle with the last name Vandenbrake?
Yeah, I definitely think that goes halfway around the number.
Guardado's 1-1. Misses on the outer edge. But stepping back into the baseball side of things, Vandenbrake been a pretty nice leadoff hitter right now as he swings through for strike number 2. Led off the game with a base hit, then lined out to Bozetti, which Bozetti then turned 2 with it as Calaccio is frozen in between first and second. So the 2-2 with 2 down. Misses blown away. Scores tied at 1 apiece. And we're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Guardado's payoff pitch gets Vandenbrake to foul it over to the left side. So Bucs and Miners tied up at 1, in which we're seeing a pitcher's duel. Seems there's one up in the Bucs pen, nobody up in the Miners pen. The 3-2 pitch is fouled, just barely tipped by Vandenbrake. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Guardado going to take a long break off the mound, as this could be a huge pitch if he can get Vandenbrake either out on strikes or out in general. Winds and fires. He misses on the 3-2 pitch to walk Vandenbrake over to first base. Guardado's 3rd walk of the game. And that's going to bring up this right fielder, also right-handed hitting, Logan Enos. Enos, 0 for 2 so far, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. Flew out to jump in right field back in the 3rd. So Guardado out of the stretch, his 0-0 pitch. Misses inside to bring the count to 1-0. Tied at 1, bottom of the 5th. 2 down, man on first for the Bucs. That'd be the go-ahead run. Guardado's 1-0 misses low. And Pinerini hopped up, thought about the snap throw. Only a combined 7 hits through 4 2/3 so far. So the throwers have definitely been throwing well. Guardado's 2-0. Just misses low and away. Move the count to 3-0, and sprinting in from shortstop is Drew Swift. Talk to his pitcher. Swift's done this a lot this season, talking to his pitchers, telling them, hey, let's calm down, let's get outs. I know you can do it, so let's see it.
Yeah, Swift is definitely one of the guys who stepped up into a leadership position. I figured it's coming from the infield, but
so Guardado's 3-0, hits for low for a strike.
Tough for an outfielder to come in and show that kind of leadership. That'd take a long run.
For sure. So hitters count for Logan Enos with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch from Guardado misses low. He's walked 2 now with 2 outs in this inning. 4th walk of the game. Guardado now taking a long break. No mound visit from the pitching coach. Rather, I jinxed it. Jeff Verlap has appeared out of the minors dugout, and there is someone loose in the minors pen, covered by a big Conco Phillips sign, advertisement sign. And with this break in the action, I'd like to thank a few sponsors. First, Alaska Airlines for being the official sponsor of Matsu Miners Travel, and your official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda. Walk into any locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and enter to win a Matsu Miners jersey. So stop by your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts for your chance to win today.
Also, we check in on out-of-town scoreboard. The Chinooks are leading the ABL, leading Peninsula Oilers by a score of 8-3. So it's the bottom beating the top, as the Chinooks are over the Oilers, they are there in the bottom of the 8th. We are here at Mulcahy Stadium.
We are here. And we're here with 2 down, 2 men on for the Bucs. Tied score at 1 apiece. So JC, or rather, missing, blown away is Guardado. And up is the first baseman, Veith. So Guardado stands in from the stretch. Checks back over to second. 2 outs, tied at 1. Guardado kicks and deals. So Veith checked and then kind of disrupted Pinarini from catching. So that ball will chase all the way to the backstop. And now that moves all the way back to home plate.
So what it looked like happened was Veith offered at the pitch with a swing. It bounced off of him, went to the backstop. So it's going to be I don't know, I guess the ball was in play and runners are allowed to advance. So Veith is still going to be there to hit.
So there is some meetings going on between both head skippers. And they're going to say, I believe, that it was a foul ball.
No, that's the right call. It bounced off of Veith. And because of that, the ball was out of play. It would have acted like a foul ball, but that's going to put the runners back at first and second.
So final decision, I believe, will be a foul ball. Runners stay at first and second for the Bucs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. This game is tied. So count at 1-1, 2 down, bottom of the 5th, score at 1 apiece. Jake Veith stands in. The first baseman batting left-handed has the nice open stance against the right-handed Guardado. Guardado checks second, kicks and deals, and gets Veith to swing through for strike number 2. So if Guardado can set Veith down on strikes, I guess the call really won't matter. as he's ahead in the count 1-2. Bozzetti playing deep at second, almost in the shallow right field, and the right fielder Hunter jumps almost back to the warning track. And Swift is playing near the bag at second, almost behind it. But Veith will swing through on strike 3, so none of that matters as Guardado gets out of a slight jam here in the bottom of the 5th inning to keep the game tied at 1 as we move into the 6th inning on Matsu Minor Radio. Miners bats back up to the plate as we're tied at 1 apiece through 5 innings, which has really been a pitcher's duel. Only 7 hits per score of total 2 runs. As the first pitcher, Mo Sullivan, he's still in there. He's worked 5 innings worth and only giving up 1 run on 4 hits. So the Bucs took game 1 of this doubleheader. Miners trying to grab game 2. Second pitch misses low and in. Pinerini to move the count to 2-0. Bucs winning on walk-off fashion. But the Miners right now just trying to go ahead in this shortened game. Do the doubleheader. Pinerini whacks one down the right field line. Just misses foul. He definitely squared that one up as if it was on a tee, but he was just ahead of it.
Just had to wait a couple seconds longer. A couple milliseconds. That would have been foul, and he's standing on second, if not third.
So Pinerini still stands in, now at a 2-1 count. O'Sullivan winds and deals. Delivers a second strike, low and in. So the Bucs still have a man up in the pen. And the Miners does not look like anyone is up. The 2-2 to Pinerini. He lofts this one over the right side of the infield. And running in to make the grab is Treadaway for out number 1 of the inning. That brings up probably the hottest bat in the Miners lineup right now. And really fresh off the plane, only a few games in, is Spencer Henson, the designated hitter. He's 1 for 2 today. RBI double back in the 3rd in his last at-bat. Henson can never be the life of this team. So with 1 down, in the top of the 6th, the first pitch to Henson misses low. Tied at 1, top of the 6th inning. Miners and Bucs. The first game of this year went down to the wire. Second game, first game of this doubleheader today, went down to the wire. And game 2 of this doubleheader, game 3 of the series, looked like it's going to go down to the wire as Spencer Henson bullets one just by the third baseman Correa for a 1-out single. And the Miners have the go-ahead run aboard with cleanup batter Hunter Jump stepping to the plate.
Nobody is seeing the ball better than Spencer Henson right now. Now he just walks up to the plate. He's got great discipline, knows his strike zone, then pulls the trigger whenever it's in there.
Hunter Jump stands in with 1 down. He bats from the left side. Now he bounces one over in the hole of first and second, but ranging over and making the nice play is Treadaway on the move for out number 2. That does move Spencer Henson over to second with 2 down. That brings up Aaron Walters, the first baseman. Left-handed hitter out of A&M, Texas A&M. Comes in with that open stance and sets the bat on his shoulders to start the at-bat. O'Sullivan's deals to him, misses low and in. Count sits at 1-0 with 2 down in the top of the 6th inning. Scores out 1 apiece between the Bucs and Miners. But the Miners have the go-ahead run scoring position with 2 outs. O'Sullivan comes set, checks second, throws down to the plate. Walters bouncing one over to the first base line, sliding, making the nice play is Veith, and he'll toss over to first with O'Sullivan covering for out number 3. So the Miners get 1 hit, but they leave him stranded, and we'll move into the home half of the 6th inning, still tied at 1. Matsu Miners Radio. Welcome back in to your Matsu Miners internet broadcast. This is Brad Walker alongside Connor Mills. And we're tied here at Mulkany Stadium in Anchorage at 1 apiece between the Miners and the Bucs in game 2 of today's doubleheader. And we do have a pitching change as Noah Cordova stands in a few days since Cordova's pitched. His last appearance was in June 12th, which went 2 1/3, gave up 1 run, which was earned, and had 2 hits given up, walked 3, and struck out 2. So Cordova comes in to relieve Jonathan Guardado, who really solid start for the Miners, obviously not in line for the win, but he went 5 innings, 3 hits, gave up 1 run, which was earned. Fortunately, gave up those 4 walks, but had 3 strikeouts. So impressive performance, went deep into the ball game in this only 7-inning affair. So Cordova, his overall stats so far this season is through 2 appearances. He started 1 game actually here in this stadium against the Glacier Pilots, and he's gone 6 total innings pitched. He has 3 strikeouts, given up 8 walks, and 3 hits with a 3.0 ERA. His first pitch is a strike into Brennan Bro. Bro reached on a walk in his last at-bat. Base hit back in his second at-bat, so he's reached twice already today. Cordova misses low and away. Cordova normally works out of the wind with nobody on base, but I believe has worked with pitching coach Jeff Erlab to just kind of X that out and work out of the stretch. He's pitching better out of it, so he misses just low and away for ball number 2. And you know, whatever's comfortable works, right?
Absolutely. Just got to find what works for you.
Cordova's 2-1. That paints that outside edge to move the count to 2-2. Cordova out of Gilbert, Arizona, went to Mesquite High School. His 2-2. Paints that lower inside corner. That was a nearly unhittable pitch for Cordova's first strikeout of the game and out number 1 of this inning. So Noah Cordova now up to 4 strikeouts on the season. As I was saying, Cordova was a state champ back in 2015 with Mesquite High School and decided to stay home for his college ball. Attends Chandler Gilbert Community College. Just finished up his sophomore season. So he delivers a pitch low and into Tanner Treadaway. Treadaway reached on a fielder's choice in his last at-bat back in the 4th inning. Tied at 1 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cordova comes set, deals. This one hit high in the air over the right field and jump moving over, makes the basket grab for out number 2 of the inning.
With this wind, the ball is always curving. So even if you think you have it eyed up, jump was still moving over, getting closer to the line. That one should have been, with no wind, kind of just dead right field.
And that brings up Daniel Fredrickson, the left-hander hitting left fielder. He has some words with his Gonzaga teammate Austin Pianarini before standing in, as he looks at a strike on the lower outside corner. Gonzaga Fredrickson didn't start his career there. Actually started at Washington State, where he batted .281. But wanted to change the scenery. The 0-1 from Cordova. Misses low. Moved the count to 1-1. Noah Cordova, really a tall figure out there, standing at 6'6". So really see over a lot of things. That tall frame that you want out of a pitcher. Nice knee kick and delivers the 1-1. Misses low and away to bring the count to 2-1. And last time we were here, when Cordova actually started the game, he had some issues, walked a few guys, some command issues, but seeing as that's settled down, now in his 3rd appearance as a minor, has Fredrickson to dribble one over to the left side. Danny Wright coming up to make the play, and the nice spinning grab and tag out by Aaron Walters for out number 3 of the inning. We're still tied up at 1. We'll move into the final inning of baseball. We'll see who budges first in this game 2 of the doubleheader. Bucs 1, Miners 1. We'll be right back. Our last inning of regulation baseball, I should say, as we're only playing 7 due to the doubleheader. We're tied up at 1 between the Miners and Bucs. Miners trying to avenge a Game 1 loss off the walk-off 4-3. We're in a similar situation. Honestly, Connor, came into the final inning tied up at 7. Miners couldn't get a run, and the Bucs obviously got one across off the walk-off hit. We do have a pitching change here to start this 7th inning. Legend Smith will come in to relieve Casey O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan, great start for the Bucs. 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, which was earned. Gave up a walk and had 4 strikeouts. So this pitching duel, we'll see how much longer it'll last, as the right-handed hitting second baseman, Tyler Bozetti stands in. Faced the left-hander Legend Smith from Oklahoma. He misses the outside part of the plate. Smith came in and pitched against the Miners back on Thursday. Had 1 inning pitched. Didn't give up any runs. Gave up a hit and struck 1 guy out as Bozetti swings through for strike number 1. Smith, the tall lefty, 6'3", out of Binger, Oklahoma. He misses high for ball 2. Bozetti stands in. He's 1 for 2 on the day. As Connor mentioned earlier, really had a hot, good first game and really had himself a day. Looks to continue that in this at bat. He looks at a big breaking pitch that dives in for strike number 2. So count tied at 2, nobody out. Top of the 7th inning, tied at 1 between the Miners and the Bucs. Smith winds and delivers, gets Bozetti to swing through for the first out of the 7th inning.
Well, somebody's going to bend and somebody's going to break as the temperatures are getting cold. Nobody wants to go into extra innings in a game like this.
So Smith winds and delivers the switch hitting Danny Wright as he looks at it strike. Wright batting right-handed for a rarity. Normally sees a lot of right-handed pitchers standing in from the right side right now. I just said a lot of rights as the count moves to 1-1 with 1 out here in the top of the 7th. I think I ran out of my right count for the day. So Smith winds and delivers to Danny.
I think you got one more outside. In you.
Count moves 2-1. Smith on the mound has that quick windup. 2-1 pitch hits that inside corner. Move the count to 2-2. So Danny Wright is 1 for 2 on the day. Had a double back in the 2nd inning. Counts at 2-2. The pitch gets Wright to swing through for strike number 3 and out number 2 of the inning. So Smith has seen 2 and set down 2 on strikes. Legend Smith out of Oklahoma was actually drafted in the 18th round, the MLB draft, coming out of his senior year, where he went 12-0 with a .55 ERA and 119 strikeouts his senior season. And they also went on to win the state championship. His first pitch to Kona Quiggle is in. So just some amazing numbers from Legend Smith. His 1-0 pitch. This is inside again to Kona Quiggle. 2-0. Kona has been sort of struggling, Connor, with the outside pitches today.
Well, he's looking to make some contact. Hasn't struck out a couple times today, and just get the ball in play. Step 1. Then whatever happens, happens.
As he did see a strike, and he sees another strike now. Move the count to 2-2. He thought it was a little high. But Quiggle, started the year hot, so definitely knows he has the ability, has shown the talents. He'll get it back as the 2-2 is fouled just off the tip of the bat to keep the count at 2-2. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning, tied up at 1 between the Bucs and Miners. Miners really don't want to go all the way back to Palmer. 0-2. So Quiggle plows this one high over the left side of the shallow left field and camped under it to make the grab as Palacio. So once again, we'll try this. Game 1, it was tied heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. Same here in Game 2. This time, it's 1-1. So we'll head in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see what happens on Matsumana Radio. Bottom half of the final inning up now for the Bucs. And they'll have to see one of the dominant minor relievers, probably one of the most shut down guys that we have on the roster. And Malachi Emmond comes in to relieve Noah Cordova. Malachi, through 4 appearances, a perfect ERA, and through 5 innings pitched, has 12 strikeouts, only walked 5, and has only given up 1 hit. If that's not shutting down the door on hitters, I don't know what is. So he'll face Mole, Calaccio, and Van de Break. The Bucs last time they're in this situation tied up was in game 1 of this doubleheader where they walked off with J.C. Correa. If the Bucs get a few guys on, he'll definitely be up. But Mole will lead things off. Right-handed hitting catcher. He'll look at a strike from Emmond. Emmond out of New Mexico. A right-handed thrower. High kick and deliver. In there for strike 2. So he's ahead early to Mole, 0-2. Mole is also 0 for 2 on the day. The ground out and fly out. So Emmond's 0-2 pitch gets Mole on his toes swinging. Nice breaker from Emmond for the first out of the inning.
It's really been impressive to watch Emmond pitch in the early starts of the season. You know, he's been able to get ahead of batters, and he always seems to find a way to strike them out. Yeah, he's dealt with the little walks from here and there, but I think that was his 11th strikeout in around 5, maybe 5 1/3 innings pitched.
So he gets Calaccio to swing through the first pitch of this at-bat. Calaccio reached once in this game back in the 3rd inning. Was hit by a pitch and then flew out back in the 5th. So he'll hold his swing as that pitch missed low and away. And you're right, Emmond just coming shutting down. Now up to 16 strikeouts on the season. Just an absolutely dominating fashion. 13 strikeouts, rather. As this one is grounded right up the middle. Malachi Emmond just barehanded that. Stuck out that right paw and grabbed it. That was impressive. And the whole infield now is pretty much clapping and praising him. I think a little smirk came out his face as well. That ball is bounced right back to him. He just stuck the hand out, and it's like there's Velcro. Just smack. Throws over to first for out number 2. So Calaccio grounds out. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. We're tied up at 1. Emmond trying to keep this game alive as Van de Break stands in. He has other ideas as Emmond nails that outside corner.
Well, whenever you do a barehanded play or get the ball back using your bare hand, you always worry, all right, is it going to hurt? Is it injured? You know, especially for a pitcher. But Emmond just came back firing a strike. He seems to be all right.
So he misses high and away for ball 2, or ball 1 rather, pitch 2. Emmond just that kind of guy, real tough guy out there on the mound on the rubber. Definitely hard to face. He comes set. High kick and delivers. Van de Break thought about it, but held off. So Van de Break, he's 1 for 2 on the day, reached twice. Most recently back in the 5th inning on a walk. So Emmond comes set. The 2-1 pitch. Just misses. Or rather is in there. That was a very late strike call. Almost trying to hide it. So the count's at 2-2 with 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, tied at 1. Emmond trying to extend the game. His pitch. Just misses that outside corner. Drew Swift took a few steps jogging in. Thought it was strike 3.
Almost in synchronization. Swift and Merritt kind of just turning around at the same point. Gonna have to go back and rewatch that.
So we have a full count with 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, tied at 1. The payoff pitch. Fouled over to the right side. So the Bucs can win this game with 1 swing of the bat. Going to be tough, though, with that wind blowing in. Been tough to fly really anything out in the outfield. Every fly ball that's hit has been just pretty much batted down. So 3-2 count. 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th. Emmons pitch. Had Vandenbrake thinking about it, but he did hold off just enough to draw the walk. So that's Emmons' 6th walk issued on the season. As there's a runner on now for the Bucs with 2 down. That brings up Logan Enos. So the winning run is on first for the Bucs. As Enos steps in. Emmons pitch. Gets Enos to swing through. Enos reached on a walk. In his last at bat. So he's now down on the count 0-1. So both Emmons and Enos attend college in New Mexico. Emmons from New Mexico and Enos out of New Mexico State. And Emmons drops one in for strike 2. He's ahead in the count 0-2 with 2 down. Score tied at 1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Emmons comes set, checks the runner over at first, now brings it to the plate. This one grounded and bounced to second, but coming in and underhand flip to first is Bozetti for out number 3 of the inning. We got some free baseball here at Mulkany Stadium in Anchorage. We're still tied at 1. We'll move into the 8th inning here on Matsu Minor Radio. We're back for some free baseball here in Anchorage, Alaska, and we're going to start off with a pinch hitter here in the top of the 8th inning. Only supposed to play 7 because of the doubleheader. But Smith's first pitch misses low and away. Legend Smith still on the mound for the Bucs, and we see our designated hitters or pinch hitters David Avitia, who off the bench and onto first base as he ropes a line drive single into left field. As I mentioned, it was David Avitia who came in to pinch hit for Braden Merritt, and he delivers big time.
Well, this is a big game, too, and they have to find a way to win this one. Right now, as the standings stand, the Miners are at the bottom with a record of 4-6. The Chinooks just defeated the Oilers. They moved to 3-4 in the season. They won 8-3. And then the Pilots and Bucs are tied for second. So a big game here. They can pull it around.
And Swift will bunt over to the right side. That's a sort of stop as he thought Smith may have tagged him, but Smith goes to first for the sacrifice out. So nice sacrifice bunt there from Drew Swift to move. Rather, there was a pinch runner for the Miners. Brett Owen pinch ran, so he's on second now as he pinch ran for Vitia, who singled. As standing in now is Austin Pinarini after the sac bunt from Drew Swift. Pinarini, the left-hander hitting catcher, 0 for 3 today. What a great time to get a hit as there's a runner in scoring position in the top of the 8th inning. That runner would be the go-ahead runner. Smith comes set from the belt, kicks and fires. Pinarini fouls it right off the mask of Mole.
And for it to be a three-way tie, the Bucs are at 5-5, so they have one game or a half game lead over the Pilots right now. So if the Miners defeat the Bucs here, we got ourselves a three-way tie for second.
The Miners are trying to get this win here in game 2 as they dropped game 1 in a close fashion. But we're already in extras in the 8th inning, only playing 7. Owen on second. He's the go-ahead. 1-1 count. Pinarini bouncing one to first. Veith will make the play himself for out number 2. But that does move the go-ahead run to third. Pinarini is out.
And here comes Bubba.
And we'll see a mound visit.
I think he scared him.
By one of the assistants for the Bucs. And that'll give us a nice break. And with this break, we'd like to thank our official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and Jim Ruda. And go into any of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and enter for a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So go in today for your chance to win. Score tied at 1. Top half of the 8th inning, which is now extra innings because we were only supposed to play 7 because of the doubleheader. The Bucs winning in walk-off fashion, game 1. J.C. Correa with a nice liner over the right field. But we're still tied at 1 this time around here in game 2. The Miners won first game of the season series on Thursday. And then lost, obviously, game 2. This is a rivalry game, so you had to expect it was going to come down to the wire. Both these teams obviously meeting in the top of the World Series last year. Both teams wanting to make it back. Miners especially looking for their 3rd win in a row. And a man that was on that team last year, Spencer Henson, stands in. His bat is so hot, you can make a s'more on it. Today, he's 2 for 3 with an RBI double back in the 3rd inning. He had a similar situation. He had a man on third in that scenario as he looked at ball 1 in the turf. Legend Smith still out there. He came back in the last inning. He's from the wind. Man on third. Misses outside. So Brett Owens stands on third. No, the throwback from Mole almost got by Smith. And Owen was right on it. So counts 2-0 to Henson. The 2-0 pitch gets Henson to swing through. Count moves to 2-1. 2 down. Top of the 8th inning. Score tied up at 1. Henson stands in out of Oral Roberts. Won the Triple Crown for the Summit League this past season. The 2-1 from Smith. Big breaker. Dives in for strike 2. Counts at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning. 1-1 is your score. But the Miners have the go-ahead run on third base. Legend kicks and delivers and dropped third strike. Spencer Henson is in disbelief. He just looks back and shakes his head. Now he's in a conversation with the home plate umpire, but there's nothing he can do about it as the Miners get a man on, but unfortunately leave him stranded. We're still tied up at 1 apiece. The Bucs will come up and see if they can go with another walk-off in the bottom half of the 8th inning, or will the Miners extend it on Matsu Miners Radio. Welcome back into Mulkany Stadium for some more free baseball here in Anchorage. As we're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Only supposed to play 7 because of the doubleheader. But still on the mound for the Miners is their dangerous right-hander, Malachi Emmons. And we may not have seen Malachi if it weren't for the rain out yesterday. Nevertheless, he stands in. He'll face J.C. Correa. He was the villain in game 1. Walked off base hit. Win the game for the Bucs as he looks at strike 1 inside. So Correa could technically win it on one swing of the bat, but against Malachi Emmons, that's a tough thing to do. Emmons' pitch misses blown away. As Emmons so far, since he's come in, giving up 1 base runner as he came in the 7th inning. His 1-1 pitch misses high and in to Correa. Correa today walked in his last at bat, struck out in the 4th inning. So the 2-1 delivery from Emmons is fouled over to the right side, right into that fence. Still fans in attendance for this free baseball. We move into the late hours of the night. Count tied up at 2, nobody out in this bottom half of the 8th inning. Score tied at 1. The pitch swung through and missed for strike 3. Malachi Emmons mows him down some more for out number 1 of the inning.
He's just fun to watch. With that strikeout, he just tied Cole Cook from the Pilots for the most strikeouts in the ABL, and that's impressive because he's a reliever. He's not in there to start and go in there for 5 innings a game. He's here maybe 1-2 innings, but here he is with 14 strikeouts at the top. It's amazing what Malachi is able to do.
Really is. It brings up Jake Veith to the plate, left-hand hitting first baseman. He looks at a strike low and in, and that'll move the Miners defense over to the right side. So Swift at that short, still it's short, but Bozzetti moves to basically behind second base. Owen all the way in shallow right, which pushes the right fielder Hunter jump back near the warning track, and then Walters is playing near the line at first, and Emmons misses blown away. As Veith actually had an oppo shot back in the 4th inning for a double. But the outfield is not shifted over. The only one who's really moved back is Jump. He's just pushed back. So Emmons misses in the turf to move the count to 2-1. 1 down, bottom of the 8th. Score still tied at 1. Emmons comes set. His pitch is slowly chopped over to first. Does roll foul before Walters picks it up. And I believe that somebody probably, I would imagine, if you're a Miners fan or coach, might want him to run up and grab that one because it was such a slow chopper and would have been an easy play. Nevertheless, it is a 2-2 count now.
Well, with the shift on, everybody's kind of moved back and towards the right. You know, that includes Walters. He's over kind of by the edge of the, I don't know what you call it, the infield turf or the infield outfield turf.
Yeah.
The mix.
Emmons 2-2.
Ooh.
That one barely misses the zone. Count is worked full with 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning.
So a slow roller would have been tough for Walters to get.
And Veith, since stepping in, has been on a tear. Stepped into this game 6 for 12 as the payoff pitch just misses high as Emmons in disbelief. He thought it was in the zone. So he'll walk his second batter of the evening. And with 1 down, the Bucs have the winning run on first base with only 1 out. That steps in Brennan Bro. Bro struck out in his last at-bat. And third base coach will call time. They're going to want a pinch runner out there on first. They'll brings in number 3, Dane Stankiewicz. who played in the first game of this series on Thursday, but did not play in game 1 or in game 2. So he'll come in to run for Jake Veith. They'll try to throw on some more speed for the Bucs. So Malachi stands in as Stankiewicz, do not believe has any stolen bases on the season. As grounding over to second is Bro. It was such a slow chopper that Bozzetti's only play was over at first, in which he retires the second out of the inning off the ground out. So 2 down now for Emmond in the minors in the bottom of the 8th as Austin Pinarini steps up to the mound and talks to his pitcher. Wants to get those pitches down. 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Score tied at 1. The Bucs have the winning run in scoring position with Tanner Treadaway standing into the plate. Treadaway flew out in his last at-bat. Hasn't gotten a hit in this game. Treadaway did go 3 for 3 back in game 1. Well, he looks to keep the magic on. But Emmond out there for the minors, very trustworthy. He's from the stretch, glances at second, and motions home. Misses high and away. That's ball 1. And the minors bench asking where's that one at?
Well, Pinarini barely moved his glove. So it's maybe he was set up a little outside, but close one.
Emmons 1-0 is lined over into right field. Coming in his jump and around third, trying to score Stankiewicz. The throw from Jump is right on time and on the money. Hunter Jump. What a cannon out there in right field. And the minors faithful is on their feet. Hunter Jump extends this game into the 9th inning. We're still tied at 1, and the minors will look to go ahead in the top half of the inning of the 9th inning on Matsu Minor Radio. Deep breaths have been taken after that exciting play in the bottom half of the 8th inning. As Hunter Jump guns down Stankiewicz to keep this game alive. And Connor, we just kind of chatted real quick and asked, interesting move to send Stankiewicz around third, as it wasn't necessarily a deep hit. It was just kind of a one-hopper to Hunter Jump. But he made the great play, and the throw was right on. And stepping up to the plate is Hunter Jump. So can he be the hero not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive side as well? The first pitch from Smith hits that high inside corner. And also with Jump delivering that great throw, that keeps Malachi Emmons' perfect DRA intact. So Legend Smith still out on the mound for the Bucs. Second pitch into Jump, misses low and away. Jump, has to be fired up and the blood has to be pumping after a great play like that.
Absolutely.
So the 1-1 is delivered and lined over in the left. Wind clearly knocking it down. That was just straight into where that wind basically backboard is and drops down, making the grab as Fredrickson for out number 1. But with 1 down, stepping in is the first baseman, Aaron Walters. Another lefty for the Miners, so a lefty-on-lefty matchup.
Someone's excited.
Walters is 1 for 3 on the day, stepping into his 4th at-bat. And the Miners definitely need something. Haven't scored since the 3rd inning. And Walters absolutely tees that one up and lines it to the wall in right. Around first, heading into second. He'll stand in with a one-out double from Aaron Walters. I tell you what, Connor, Walters has come alive today with some key hits.
He just has to come around to score now. The Miners, they got 7 hits, but just 1 run. They left 15 on base in game 1, so they're getting on base, they're getting some hits, but they have to figure out a way to punch them across and score some runs.
And that's only their 7th hit of the game, and they've only left 2 on base so far this game, and we played already an extra inning as we're now sitting in the 9th. So Bozzetti stands in, the right-handed hitting third baseman now. Bases the lefty Smith. Go-ahead run on second. Bozzetti blasts one high into that air in the middle of the infield, and running in to make the grab is Calaccio from short for out number 2 of the inning. But that brings up the switch hitting Danny Wright. Wright will bat from the right side versus the lefty Smith. Smith so far has been pretty fluid. 2 2/3. Has only given up 2 hits. No runs yet. But the Miners with the go-ahead run in scoring position. Danny Wright steps into the plate. Smith comes set from the stretch. His first pitch is a fastball that nails that outside edge for strike 1.
I don't know if you can see it right now, Brad, but it looks like the Miners bullpen has a rally bucket. It is not a hat. It is a ball bucket on one of the relievers' heads.
And so, interesting move here. Danny Wright takes off his left shin guard, throws it away, then takes off one of his elbow pads. And now he's going to bat from the left side. So maybe a little more comfortable from that left side. He's facing lefty Smith, and Smith misses in the dirt. And you got to think that's sort of a psychological thing for Smith, too. Now he has to see a lefty instead of the righty after a pitch, which is allowed.
Well, it's been the side of the plate that Danny Wright has hit best from.
So with 2 outs, there's a runner in scoring position for the Miners. Tied at 1 here in the top of the 9th, which is our second extra inning as Smith misses low and in. Only supposed to scheduled 7 innings because of the doubleheader. Nevertheless, Wright's ahead in the count, 2-1 against Smith. He stands in now from the left side of the plate, lefty on lefty matchup. Walters on second. That'd be the go-ahead run. We're tied at 1. Smith kicks and deals. And Wright, soft liner, a few hops over to the second baseman, Treadaway, who makes the play in out number 3. So the Miners get a big hit from Aaron Walters, but he'll stay out there on second, and we'll move into the bottom half of the 9th inning, still tied at 1 on Matsu Miners Radio. So we're here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And extras, only scheduled to play 7 because of the doubleheader. And now into pitch is Spencer Henson, the man who's been absolutely on fire from the plate. Was our designated hitter, so no problem with him pitching and hitting. And the last time Henson pitched He pitched once this season for Oral Roberts. Obviously a regular starter last year for the Miners. But once for Oral Roberts was on March 21st. He went 1 2/3, gave up 5 runs, all of those earned, off 4 walks and 1 hit. So it wasn't a great outing for Spencer Henson, the only time he's been out this year. And it's been a while, so I'm imagine he has shaken it off. Nevertheless, he comes in a huge situation with the Bucs only 1 swing away from winning this game. And Daniel Fredrickson will step in.
It's also interesting. The Miners are going to lose their designated hitter in favor for hitting their pitcher. There's Bubba. He was been there at the 3 hole. Now he's on the mound.
So Henson winds and delivers. He misses for ball 1. Actually, I believe, Connor, I may be corrected. Well, I guess we'll find out sooner rather than later, but I believe Henson will still be able to hit.
Absolutely. He can hit.
So he relieves Malachi Emmond as Henson delivers a strike. Emmond went perfect through 2 innings. Well, a shutout through 2 innings. And ripped on a line over to second, making the play is Brett Owen for out number 1 of the inning. Daniel Fredrickson is set down.
And for Bubba, he hasn't been on the mound, obviously, in a long time. So I have to imagine he's going to be pitching to contact and letting the players around him do their job, which they are more than capable of doing.
Yes, with 1 down, stepping in is Sladen Mole, a righty-on-righty matchup, as Henson is a right-handed dealer. He misses low and in the turf for ball 1. And Henson, I tell you what, if he can deliver this and then somehow the bats come around to him and he can deliver a go-ahead run, he definitely has to be the player of the day. So the 1-0 from Henson hits that lower edge for strike 1. Count tied up at 1 with 1 down. Scores tied at 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Henson winds and fires. Misses low for ball 2. Standing in is Sladen Mole. Mole 0 for 3 today. The lights are on here in Malkany. As Henson's 2-1. Just misses low and in the dirt.
And Henson, he was recruited by Oral Roberts as a dual player, as a pitcher and as a hitter. Didn't really get to experience all that his sophomore campaign, but was able to do it now for the Miners.
So his 3-1 is bounced over to short. Drew Swift coming up and making the nice play for out number 2.
It's just smooth every time that Swift gets it.
And Henson actually last year for the Miners had 7 starts for 36 in the 3rd innings pitched, had 21 strikeouts, allowed 19 walks and 26 hits on the mound. So it was definitely dominant and a regular pitcher for the Miners. He has 2 outs now in this bottom of the 9th inning against Dimitri Calaccio, the shortstop. And Calaccio is 0 for 2 on the day. Reached base back in the 3rd inning on a hit by pitch. He looks at ball 1 and then flies one over into the right side, out of play, heading towards that Miner dugout. Move the count to 1-1. Score is tied up at 1 apiece with 2 down in the 9th inning. Spencer Henson, as we mentioned on the mound, has been great at the plate, looking to do the same from the rubber. His 1-1 is blasted into right field on his horse's Hunter jump, but can't quite make it there. That'll fall in for strike number 2. And as the man they call Bubba, he's ahead in the count 1-2 with 2 outs. Palacio really not having a great start to this year. Now with today is 7 of 22. As Henson just misses on that outer edge. He was walking towards the dugout, and I think the rest of his defense was too. As he just stares the home plate umpire that set him down on strikes a few innings ago. He's just in awe. So the count's tied at 2 with 2 down. He misses with a breaking pitch on the outer edge. Count is full. 2 outs, scores out 1 apiece between the Miners and Bucs. Bucs winning game 1 of this doubleheader. Miners looking to avenge that tonight. Henson on the mound. He works from the wind against Calaccio. The 3-2 pitch is in there for strike 3. Spencer Henson, whether it's with the bat or with the arm, he's doing it all tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're still tied at 1, and we'll move into the 10th inning of play when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Tenth inning of play, our 3rd extra inning, only scheduled to go 7 because of the doubleheader. But these 2 teams, 2 rivals, just don't want to stop playing baseball. So we're tied up at 1, and first Miner stepping in is going to be Kona Quiggle from the left side of the plate. Kona 0 for 3 on the day. This is a great opportunity to lace around a first hit. So he looks at a first pitch strike. Legend Smith still in the game for the Bucs. He's been shut out through the first 3 innings. But Kona Quiggle, what a time for your first hit in the game, kid. And he was on his horse, hustling around first. And the center fielder, Bro, muffed it. And Quiggle, who sprinted the first, as Bro was trying to pick it up and throw in, muffed it. So Quiggle advanced to second on the fielding error. And Kona Quiggle, aggressively and smart and hustling, now is in scoring position with no outs here in the top of the 10th.
Well, you got to love the heart and hustle from Kona Quiggle. He's been struggling a little bit today and is able to come through big here in the top of the 10th and get a base runner on for the Miners as they need a chance to here and win it.
Brett Owen stands in. He looks to bunt. He looks at a ball low and away as he pulled back. So Brett Owen comes in for David Avitia, who pinch hit for Braden Merritt. If you remember, Avitia got a nice base hit, let off pinch hitting, and then Owen came in to pinch run for him and has been in ever since. He faces the left-handed Smith. Smith comes set, nobody out. Man on second, tied at 1. Owen trying to bunt, and the throw down from second as I believe may have nipped Kona on his helmet.
Well, it either hit Kona or it hit the bag. I couldn't tell which.
And they Mole tried to gun down Quiggle, but they were the shortstop. Calaccio wasn't really there. And the count has moved to 2-0. Kick and fires as Owen fouls it over to the right side. And count has moved to 2-1. No outs, top of the 10th. Miners have the go-ahead run on second as the score's tied at 1 apiece. Brett Owen at the plate has looked to what seems like a sacrifice bunt throughout the first 3 pitches. 2 were balls and then bunted 1 foul. So Smith comes set from the stretch, peeks over at second, now takes his attention to the plate. The pitch in to Owen is dribbled over to the right side, and he will retire Owen, but that does leave the go-ahead run on third now with only 1 out. You got to wonder if maybe a sack squeeze or suicide squeeze is in place as Drew Swift stands in.
Well, Swift, he can swing the bat a little bit. You know, he's known for his speed, but his bat's been coming around in the last couple at bats.
Swift swings through and dribbles it behind, so he will be swinging. Infield is in for the Bucs, as obviously that's a go-ahead run at third. The outfield has come in a few steps as well. You can hear the chants from the dugout and the Miner faithful that are still in attendance. Let's go Swift. He can deliver huge here. Smith from the line, the 0-1. Misses, blown away. Bring the count to 1-1. One down, top of the 10th inning. We're tied at 1 here at Mulkey Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. Swift, the right-hander, facing left-hander Smith. 0-1 is on the ground to shortstop. Quiggle is on his horse to home. He tries to avoid the tag, but he will be tagged out on the nice play from Calaccio. So the Bucs avoid the scoring Quiggle off the ground ball from Swift. And there is 2 down now in the top of the 10th inning. So Swift will be on first, so the Miners do keep the go-ahead runner on as Pinarini stands in. Lefty-on-lefty matchup between Smith and Pinarini. The pitch is grounded hard over the right side, but nice scoop over there by Stankiewicz for out number 3 of the inning. So the Miners had an excellent opportunity getting the go-ahead runner on third, but they get tagged at the plate, and then Swift will stay stranded over on first, and that'll do it for the top half of the inning. And when we come back, it will be the bottom half of the 10th inning. That's Miners Radio. Todd? This game just keep on going on as we enter the bottom half of the 10th inning. The Bucs stand into the play, tied at 1, so one swing of the bat could win this thing for the Bucs. And still on the mound for the Miners is Spencer Henson, otherwise known as Bubba. And they sort of have to keep him on the mound if they want to have him hit, if this game can be extended. So standing in is Jace Vandenbrake. So righty on lefty matchup. The first pitch from Henson is in there for a strike. And for the first time pitching since March 21st, he's not doing too bad.
No, really settling in, and we don't want to jinx him, but he's looking well. That was a nice miss.
Nice breaking pitch that had Vandenbrake off guard. So Henson ahead in the count, 0-2. And standing in, even with the bag at third, is Bozetti, and back sort of near the line is Walters, but he's more near the outfield grass against the lefty Vandenbrake. So the 0-2 from Henson is a fastball that misses outside. Bring the count to 1-2. Nobody out as the Bucs have their leadoff hitter on up to the plate here in the top half of the 10th inning, tied at 1. Henson winds and deals. And Vandenbrake laces one into center field. That'll take a few hops before the center fielder Quiggle can come to it. So the Bucs have the winning run on here in the top half of or bottom half rather of the 10th inning. They won in walk-off fashion back in game 1. Spencer Henson trying to hold him off from doing that here in game 2. So that brings up the right fielder, Logan Enos. Grounded out in his last at-bat. He was up in the bottom of the 7th. So the third baseman, Bozetti, is playing in as Enos looked to bunt. He did pull back as the pitch was outside. Moves to 1-0. We're tied at 1 in the bottom of the 10th. The Bucs have the winning run on first with nobody out. So Henson from the stretch from the first time tonight. Long glance at first. Kicks and delivers. Enos bunts it straight back to Henson, who decides to take the easy play and go to first. That bunt was hit pretty quickly to Henson, so if he wanted to, he could have tried the play at second, but made the smart choice to go to first. And that brings up, as we mentioned many times before, the bad guy of game 1, J.C. Correa.
And going back to that play, Henson, as soon as the ball came off the bat, he knew where he wanted to go. No matter what time or where he got the ball, he knew he was going to go to first, get the safe out, get one away.
And they're going to walk Correa with 1 down. And with first base open, this is the smart decision. Now you have the double play and possibility if you want. Correa already hurt you once earlier today, so why try to risk it again?
And Correa, I think he wants to swing the bat. Stepped kind of over close towards where the pitches are coming in.
And Henson, he's not lightly tossing those in either. They're coming with a little bit of zip on them, definitely. So we'd like to take this little opportunity then, as the intentional walk is happening, to thank you listeners for listening in. I know we're a little later than scheduled, only scheduled 7 innings, but here we are in the 10th inning. And obviously the Miner faithful that's still here.
And also thank you to the official internet broadcast, our sponsor, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner, Jim Ruda. Also, if you're here in Alaska, stop into Napa Auto Parts, ask about the jersey giveaway for your chance to win a free Matsu Miner jersey.
And we will see a pinch hitter now for Stankiewicz, who came into pinch run. He did play first, and now Willie Escala will step in. A lot of Miners fans remember him from this season already. Pretty much him and Avitia starting that scuffle that had the benches clear as Jeff Erlab finishes his mound meeting with his pitcher in infield. We have 1 out, bottom of the 10th inning. Bucs have the winning run on second, also have a running run over at first with 1 out. Here in the bottom half of the inning, Spencer Henson, right-handed thrower on the mound. The right-handed hitter, Escala, steps in. In the first game, he went 0 for 4 with a run. We did reach as Henson comes set. His first pitch into Escala is skied into right field. Jump originally took some steps in, now quickly making up for it on his way back. And tagging and moving over to third is Vandenbrake. So the winning run now on third will just take a little base hit for the Bucs to win.
Well, one point or another in this season, the Miners have to win an extra inning game. The luck has to go their way. Not that this is a 50-50 luck thing, but you'd have to imagine something's going to go the Miners' way. And to get out of this inning, I'd count that as good luck.
Yeah, definitely. Henson now will toe the rubber again. Runners on the corners for the Bucs. There is 2 down in the bottom of the 10th inning. We're tied up at 1 as Brendan Bro, the center fielder, stands in. He bats from the left side. Henson is from the stretch, and the first pitch is lined over to the left side. That could have been danger if it was fair, but it was well foul. You got to wonder if the Bucs are going to send Correa on first over to second, or if they hold him. And if they do send him, will the Miners throw down? 0-1 count. Henson comes set. His 0-1 pitch is fouled off, popped up to the left side, and out of play once again. So Henson ahead in the count, 0-2. And with 2 outs and the winning run on third, you can't ask for much more for Spencer Henson. So the man they call Bubba is trying to shut down the Bucs, and he is due up next inning if he can get out of this. The 0-2 from Spencer Henson. just misses painting that outside corner. Count moves to 1-2, and Pinarini having some talks with home plate umpire Brad Polk. So Henson comes set, and Pinarini wants some time to run through signals with his pitcher. Runners on first and third for the Bucs. They are not holding them at first or third. 1-2 count, 2 down, bottom of the 10th, tied at 1. Henson comes set. His pitch just misses outside to Brennan Bro.
You know, you hope for the strikeout here with the situation, but as we said, he hasn't pitched in a while. He's probably pitching to contact. A strikeout would be huge for him.
So the 2-2 from Henson misses high and in, and Correa will steal the base without any throw or movement from the infield. So now first base is open if the Miners choose to go that way, as it's a full count. Winning run on third. There is a runner on second for the Bucs. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Score tied at 1. Henson comes set. Kicks and fires. Breaking pitch just misses high. Bases are loaded now for the Bucs.
Oh, the good thing is there's a force at every base. Bad thing, the bases are loaded.
So Treadaway kind of been a tale of 2 games so far for him today. 3 for 3 back in the first game. Now 1 for 4 stepping in tonight in game 2. There is 2 outs. The score is tied at 1 in the bottom of the 10th. The bases are loaded for the Bucs. Spencer Henson stands in. First time pitching since March 21st. Has an inning under his belt where he went 3 up, 3 down. This inning is a little different. This is the 6th batter he'll see this time. Henson comes set. Glances over at first. Now eyes the plate. His first pitch is blooped up into right field. Hunter Jump ranging back and kind of twisted around. Camps under it for out number 3. So the man they call Bubba gets out of a huge bases loaded jam to extend this game as we head into the 11th inning on Matsu Miners Radio of this game 2 of the doubleheader. Both sides, both faithful, are in nerves right now. And if you're not excited about this game, I don't even know if you have a pulse. Rivalry game between the Bucs and Miners. They met last year in the top of the World Series. Miners coming atop. And they've met twice so far this year. Once on Thursday, the Miners prevailing in that one 8-5. And then in game 1 of this doubleheader earlier today, the Bucs won on a walk-off 4-3, and we're still tied at 1 as we've entered the 11th inning, 4th inning of extra innings. This game was only scheduled to go 7, but even if it was supposed to go 9, we'd still be in extras. Nevertheless, we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Bucs for the first time in 4 innings. Parker Johnson out of Indiana Wesleyan University. Johnson's appeared twice so far, 2 innings of work, perfect ERA, 1 strikeout, walked 2 guys, and allowed 2 hits. But standing in is a man he probably doesn't want to see. Spencer Henson. He's done it from the plate tonight, and he's had 2 innings of shutdown work on the mound. He stands in to start this 11th inning. First pitch swinging, blasted well over to the right side. So Johnson is a right-handed hurler. As I mentioned, out of Indiana Wesleyan. His last appearance was June 12th, where he went an inning, walked 2, and had a strikeout. He's also a two-way player, batted for Indiana Wesleyan as well. The 0-1 misses low to Henson, so the count has moved to 1-1.
And for Henson, because he was a designated hitter and now has come into pitch, his rope is getting shorter as we go deeper into this game. So this might be the last time he's at the plate.
So the 1-1, Henson skies that one up right in the middle of the infield. The second baseman Treadaway is camped under it for a while, finally comes down, and he makes number one of the inning. So Bubba's heroics may be coming to an end here if he does not head to the mound again. Does not seem like there's anyone up in the Miners' pen, but
he might get one more trip around, and hopefully he can get another at bat, or hopefully the Miners win it before then. But
so this brings up Hunter Jumps, and if you remember correctly, he's the reason we're still playing. Back in the 8th inning, made a huge throw from right field off a base hit to gun a guy down at home. He's first pitch swinging as well, flies it over to the left side. So Jump down in the count 0-1. With one down in the top of the 11th inning, we're still tied at 1 and only have seen 13 hits so far combined. Johnson did not pitch this past spring at Indiana Wesleyan, was just a position guy. But his second pitch into Jump nails the outside corner, 0-2. As the Miners do not want to head all the way back to Palmer tonight with an 0-2 record. Would love to get a win, especially in this long ball game that has gone four innings overdue. The 0-2 from Johnson. Jump flies it in the air behind home plate, and grabbing it for out number 2 is the catcher, Mole. So 2 down for the Miners. That brings up Aaron Walters, the first baseman, who was last at bat, ripped a double down the line. Could definitely use another one of those right here for the Miners to keep this inning alive. And with just one swing of the bat as well, could put the Miners ahead as it's tied 1-1 in the top of the 11th. Parker Johnson, the right-handed thrower, bounces one in the dirt on the left side. Johnson relieves Legend Smith, who really came in and shut down for the Bucs. 4 innings pitched, only gave up 3 hits. No runs, no earned runs, and had 3 strikeouts as well. So Walters stands in from the left side. The 1-0 is looked at for another ball, misses low. 2-0 to Aaron Walters. Walters is 2 for 4 today, has a single and a double. Would love to see hit number 3 here, and so would all the other Miner faithful. Johnson from the stretch gets Walters to swing through one for strike number 1. As it's been a long day at the ballpark. We arrived just about an hour or so before game time, around 3:34-ish. And now it's past 11. The lights are on, have been on since the beginning of the second game. Definitely is pretty nice as the cloud is covering the sun tonight. So 2-1 count with 2 down in the top of the 11th. The pitch. Walters flies one into high right field. Does it have the distance at the warning track and making the grab is Enos for out number 3. If there's no wind, that could have been the go-ahead home run. But I believe that wind smacked it down for out number 3. So the Miners will look to hold on even longer as we move into the bottom half of the 11th inning when we come back on Matsu Miner Radio. A lot of baseball tonight, a lot of free baseball, that is. 4 extra innings tonight as we're only scheduled to go 7. We're still tied up at 1. It's been that way for a long time, ever since the 4th inning. It's been tied up. The Miners scored 1 back in the 3rd inning, and then the Bucs came back with 1 in the 4th. And it's been that way ever since. So, and the two teammates, Fredrickson and Pinarini, seeing each other, kind of giving each other some smacks and slaps. So friendly rivalry out there between Pinarini and Fredrickson. Nevertheless, still out on the rubber is the man they call Bubba, Spencer Henson. He's been locked in, 2 shutout innings. A little bit of a jam last inning, but worked his way out of it. As we have entered the bottom half of the 11th inning here in Anchorage. Still tied at 1. Standing in is Daniel Fredrickson. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Reached once on a walk in the first pitch. Misses low to him. Moved the count to 1-0. So Henson will be from the windup, as that's lined hard over to second, but ranging over and making the play is Brett Owen for out number 1 of the inning. So quickly put down is Daniel Fredrickson.
Oh, good range from Owen at second. He's, I think, the best second baseman we have on the roster. So we have a strong defensive alignment behind Henson, as he just needs to pitch to contact to try to get some outs.
He has 1 down, and swinging through the first pitch is Sladen Mole, the catcher, who made an out in the upper half of this inning. He's now down 0-1 to Spencer Henson. Henson's 0-1, lined up the alley for a base hit, and the Bucs once again have the winning run on. And they've had the winning run on for 3 now out of the 4 extra innings. These minor pitchers have just been resilient. And we'll see if they can keep that up as Dimitri Palacio stands in. The chance of the double play is obviously an opportunity that would end the inning with the winning run on first. Palacio stands in. So righty on righty matchup. 1 down, bottom of the 11th, tied at 1. Henson hits the outside edge for strike 1.
Well, at some point, somebody's going to bend and somebody's going to break. Miners have bent so far after getting out of the bases loaded jam last inning. Got to see who breaks first.
So Henson's pitch misses high and in. Or rather, hits high and in. I beg your pardon. For strike number 2. So Spencer Henson ahead in the count 0-2 with 1 down in the bottom of the 11th to Dimitri Palacio. And before this 3rd pitch, he'll take a step off the rubber. Deep breath, wipes the jersey. Now stands and looks in. Henson comes set from the torso. His 0-2 is grounded up towards the left side. Swift coming up, throwing to second. They get the first, and the toss over to first is not in time. So nice play there by Drew Swift for even giving the possibility of a double play, as they couldn't quite bring it around for 2, but that does bring up the second out of the inning, as Palacio will reach on the fielder's choice, and that once again will bring up the top of the lineup for the Bucs, as they still have the winning run on first. Henson comes set. His first pitch to Van de Break is in there for strike 1.
I believe it's the first time we had to turn on a light here.
Yeah, turn on a light in the press box. It's definitely been a rarity. As the count sits at 0-1. Henson's from the stretch. Over at first is Palacio. His 0-1 pitch, beautiful breaking ball in there for strike 2. He's ahead in the count once again, 0-2. 2 down, bottom of the 11th inning. We are tied up at 1 apiece. Haven't seen a score since the 4th inning. And the Bucs have the winning run on first, but Henson trying to shut down any thought of that. His 0-2 is a fastball that barely misses on the outer edge. So Henson looking for only his 2nd strikeout tonight. Struck out one man back in his first inning of work in the 9th. And then all contact outs after that. Count sits at 1-2. 2 down, bottom of the 11th. 1-1 is your score. Henson kicks and fires. There's a man on the move. Pinarini throws down. The throw is there. And did the tag get him? Sliding under the tag is Calaccio. So the Bucs stay alive barely.
It was a great throw from Pinarini. It was on the money. Swift was just a little bit too far off the bag, had to come running. His momentum took him off. And I thought he might have gotten him. But then, when he turned around to go try to tag him again, that's kind of dead giveaway.
So the count is tied at 2. 2 down. Runner in scoring position. The winning run, that is. As Van de Break fouls one back over to the left side. That winning run is Calaccio. With the score still tied at 1. We're in the bottom of the 11th inning here in Anchorage. We're only supposed to play 7, so we're already 4 innings of free baseball in. Henson, he's from the stretch, takes a long glance at second, kicks and fires. Breaking ball gets Van de Break to swing through for strike number 3. Spencer Henson, the Bucs thought they had a chance to win it, but he sets down any thought of that. As we'll head in to the 12th inning here in Anchorage. We're still tied at 1. Stay here. It's been a great time here on Matsu Minor Radio. Free baseball is the best baseball, right, Connor? As we sit still, tied at 1, now in the 12th inning. Here in Anchorage between the Miners and the Bucs, 2 rivals that just do not want to be set down. As stepping in is number 3, Tyler Bozzetti. Bozzetti sort of struggling tonight. Well, the game 2, rather. He is 1 for 4 currently. Back in game 1, went 1 for 2, had an RBI, so he would be the go-ahead run with just 1 swing of the bat. As the first pitch to Bozzetti is roped into left field, and dropping. Sort of a weird play as that was hit hard. The wind knocked it down clearly. Fredrickson just seemed to kind of just give up on it over and left. Nevertheless, Bozzetti reaches to start off the 12th inning with a base hit. And now stepping in is Danny Wright, who, if you remember in his last at-bat, switched sides of the plate. Came in originally right-handed, and then switched to lefty. He'll bat lefty against the right-hander. He is a switch hitter as he bunts it foul over to the left side to drop in the count to 0-1. So Tyler Bozzetti is the go-ahead run on first after leading things off with a single. Nobody out, top of the 12th inning, tied at 1. Corners are playing in as Wright is more than likely to sacrifice. The 0-1, Johnson comes set. He's from the chest. His pitch is fouled straight back, almost hitting us here in the press box. So Wright has now fallen to 0-2 count.
Almost found the hole to get in here.
And you got to wonder if that's really huge now that he's gotten 2 strikes. You just wanted to move the guy over. Nevertheless, Danny Wright will probably be swinging away here as he's down in the count 0-2. Nobody out. Top of the 12th inning between the Miners and the Bucs. Johnson's comes set, checks first. His pitch is blooped out into the left field. It will drop in time. So the Miners get their first two on, and after originally supposed to have a sacrifice bunt, Danny Wright, after falling behind in the count 0-2, bloops one into left field, and now the go-ahead run is on second, and an insurance run is on first for Kona Quiggle.
Well, it's got to be the magic of the rally cap. We saw Josh Haley. I think he might have all the cats on his head that are in the dugouts.
So Quiggle got a base hit in his last at-bat to start off the 10th inning. Actually moved all the way to third and then got thrown out at the plate off a ground ball. So missing high is Johnson, 1-0. Corners are playing in for Quiggle. Go-ahead run on second. An insurance run on first for the Miners. Nobody out in this 12th inning. Johnson glances at second. Now motions back to the plate. Quiggle fouls one over to the left side. Count has moved to 1-1. And what has been a thriller, it sure is suited up to be an exciting finish. Kona Quiggle stands in. He's a lefty, so righty on lefty matchup between Johnson and Quiggle. Count tied up at 1. Johnson taking a long look in. Nobody covering first or right standing, and playing close is the shortstop Calaccio, or Bozetti is. Bozetti definitely has a lot of speed at second. Same with Wright at first. So just any nice little poke out there could possibly give the Miners a lead. Johnson's 1-1. Kicks and fires. Misses well low and inside for ball 2. So Parker Johnson stepping in, just his third appearance tonight. He's 1 for 7 hitting wise for the Bucs, whereas he hit in 47 games this past spring for Indiana Wesleyan. So trying to work on his throwing skills up here in Alaska. He's in a big spot right now. Counts 2-1. The pitch misses well inside. Quiggle had to hop out of the way of that one. And he now has worked his way into a hitter's count. 3-1, nobody out in the top of the 12th. Go-ahead run is on for the Miners with an insurance run at first as well. They're tied with the Bucs at 1. So Quiggle standing in from the left side. Johnson kicks and deals. Quiggle lines one into center. Will that get over Bro's head? He ranges back, makes the catch, but tagging from second and on his way to third is Bozetti. So Kona Quiggle does his job and moves over the go-ahead run to third.
That was a good smack from Quiggle. Even though it was caught in the outfield, he got it into the gap. It was just good range from Bo.
So now there's runners on the corners for the Miners. The 9-hitter, Brett Owens, stands in. And it's that wind all night long has been knocking down everything. Normally, if there's not a lot of wind, that probably gets over Bro's head and is an easy double. And same with Walter's hit a few innings ago. That was probably over the wall or near the wall if there's no wind, but it's just been dying down a lot of balls tonight.
Well, now there's even a little rain coming in, adding in. So it's a little cold, it's windy, and now rain.
So with one down, runners on the corners, Brett Owens stands in. Right-handed hitting second baseman, facing the right-hander Johnson. He looks at a ball blown away, moves the count to 1-0. Winning run on third for the Miners, and insurance run on first, and we'll see a break as the pitching coach for the Anchorage Bucs comes in. With this break, this is a great time to thank our official sponsor of the internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into any one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts to enter into a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and get your chance to win today. So if you're wondering how we got to this point at tied up at 1 in the 12th inning, well, we saw a run in the 3rd inning off a 1-run double from Spencer Henson, and then in the 4th inning, we saw a 1-run triple, or rather, we did see a score in the 4th from the Bucs to tie it up at 1, and ever since then, it's pretty much just been the pitchers riding out. We've seen some jams, we've seen some opportunities by both teams, but really, The pitching has been very strong tonight, and you only wonder how long it lasts and what's going to be the team's first pitcher to buzz. Right now, the Miners have a great opportunity with runners on the corners and only one down in the top of the 12th inning. Owen stands in. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Johnson from the stretch. Owen looking to bunt. Bunts it hard down the right side. Sliding in for the sacrifice is Tyler Bozetti in time. Brett Owen delivers the RBI suicide squeeze.
What a play.
Head coach Ben Taylor wants to head home to Palmer with a win, willing to do anything it takes, and Brett Owen delivers for the Miners. They take a 2-1 lead in the top of the 12th inning over the Bucs. Wow, it took us a while, but we finally got another run. Luckily, it's in our favor to give us the 2-1 lead here in game 2 of today's doubleheader. That brings up Drew Swift. He's looking to bunt as well. He'll pull back. So scoring is Bozetti. Moving over to second is right. Bozetti came flying in. And technically, that's going to be an infield single, I believe, for Brett Owen. So runners now on first and second. They would just be insurance runs for the Miners. Beautiful bunt there by Brett Owen as the pitch to Swift misses high and away. It was perfectly placed in between that first base and pitcher's area. Well down the line. The long toss, and Bozetti with the speed flies in. So we have a 2-0 count. Miners now leading 2-1 in the top of the 12th. Only one out. Johnson sets and fires. He misses high. And now it's a 3-0 count to Drew Swift. And if Johnson isn't careful, it could start raining down here for the Miners, and they may extend this lead. As Swift has a 3-0 and a great opportunity to get on a board with a walk. Johnson's 3-0 pitch. Misses high, and Drew Swift has drawn a walk. So the bases are juiced now for Austin Pinarini, the man behind the plate. Done some great work catching tonight. Long day at the office for Mr. Pinarini. 11 innings, only scheduled 7, but 4 have gone extra. So with bases loaded, one down, top of the 12th. Pinarini is swinging. He ropes one into left field. That gets over the head of Enos to the wall, around, and scoring is right. They'll wave Owen home. He'll make it in without a throw, and Austin Pinarini with a 1-out, 2-run double here in the top of the 12th inning, and the Miners have extended their lead 4-1. They want to go back to Palmer with a victory. What a hit from Austin Pinarini. So Swift will advance all the way to third. And Pinarini, what a shot. So the infield comes in. As the Miners are only up 3, so technically one swing of the bat with a few guys on for the Bucs could get them to tie or possibly win it. But nevertheless, the Miners want to keep attacking. Only 1 out. No chance of a ground ball double play right now with Spencer Henson standing in. He looks at a ball out high. Henson has done some great work on the mound so far and at the plate. He looks to add to it as he fouls it straight back to move the count to 1-1. Only one down here in the top of the 12th inning. Runners on second and third for the Miners. First score since the 4th inning. And luckily it goes the Miners' way as the count's tied at 1. Johnson kicks and fires and swinging through. Big swing there from Spencer Henson. And the count has moved to 1-2. Henson is 2 for 5 today with an RBI. So infield still playing in. Outfield at normal depth. Johnson checks second. Now kicks and deals. He misses well outside for ball 2. Count is now tied up at 2. Henson on the mound tonight has gone 3 shutout innings, and he'd love to help himself out. Whether he comes back in, as I cannot tell if there is people warming up in the Miners' pen or not. He would love to help himself out with a hit here. Runners on second and third. Scores 4-1 now. Miners lead. As Henson misses high and in. Johnson misses high and in, rather. Move the count to full with 1 out. So Spencer Henson has worked the count full with 1 out, and the Miners with that fresh lead, 4-1, scoring 3 so far this inning. Runners on second and third. They have a great chance. Johnson's pitch is fouled over to the right side. So Pinarini on second after delivering that big 2-run double. And Swift on third after drawing a walk to load the bases. The 3-2-1 down, top of the 12th. Miners lead 4-1. Johnson comes set. His pitch is grounded in between the hole of short and third. Coming in to score is Drew Swift. Pinarini will hold it third. So Spencer Henson, after 3 shutout innings on the mound, in which he hadn't pitched since March 21st, he delivers now at the plate once again tonight for his second RBI of the evening.
Well, the wheels have come off for the Bucs here in the top of the 12th. Great piece of hitting, great execution from Brett Owen. And Austin Pinarini breaking through, finally, here in the top of the 12th inning.
And it really has. And Johnson, they're going to leave him out there. And at this point for the Bucs, you're just hoping Johnson can survive, so that way you don't have to use another one of your pitchers. But right now, 5 runs, or rather 4 runs this inning. We're up to 5 runs total for the Miners as they lead 5-1 in the top of the 12th. Jump already looked at a ball outside. He looks at another ball outside and moves the count to 2-0. There's 1 out for Matsu, runner on the corners. Only one down, I just mentioned. Hunter jump standing in, the lefty. As he is facing the right-hander Johnson. Johnson coming in last inning and shutting it down. And jump grounds one over to first, trying to make the tough play, and does as the first baseman. Calaccio, as he moved to first, and Escala over at short is the defensive change for the Bucs. So 2 down now. The Miners drive 1 more in with that fielder's choice and increase their lead to 6-1 with 5 runs this inning. So jumper will reach on the fielder's choice. Pinarini came in to score. 6-1 is your score in the top of the 12th inning. Aaron Walters stepping into the plate. He is the last Miner to hit in this order. As he thought about it, did he go? They're saying he did not, and they're saying he held off. So the count moves to 2-0. 2-0 is the count. 2 down. Miners now lead 6-1. So the Bucs cannot tie it with 1 swing of the bat if there were runners on. Johnson comes set. The 2-0 misses low and into Walters, so he's worked a 3-0 count. And 2 outs. The Miners looking like a great chance. They're going to head back to Palmer on a win. The 3-0 is a nice fastball in from Johnson, 3-1. Johnson, after 2 really good outings where he had a perfect ERA, comes in, and in the second inning of work, is really having a rough go about right now. His 3-1 to Walters misses high and outside for ball 4. So the Miners keep this one going here in the top of the 12th inning. And Connor, what an explosion of offense it has been.
Well, this is fun. Now, we're having a good time here now in the top of the 12th. It might have taken us a couple hours. We're finally punching across some runs. We're not leaving as many men on base. We're getting around to score. I mean, 5 runs in the top of the 12th. What more can you ask?
And that brings up the man that started it all, Tyler Bozzetti. Came around to score that go-ahead run originally. He swings through a first pitch for a strike. Came through to score that on the sack squeeze, or rather suicide squeeze. And I'm running out of room in my book here because there's runners on first and second. No one wants the count. Second pitch into Bozzetti's a off speed that drops in there. So Johnson's ahead the count, 0-2 with 2 down. And trying to just keep the damage to 5 runs this inning as the Miners lead 6-1 here in the 12th. Bozzetti stands in from the right side of the plate. Lays the base hit to get things going. 0-2, misses outside. Move the count to 1-2. No movement in the Bucs pen, or seems to be in the Miners pen, as that rally cap that Josh Haley has on, half the hats forward, half backward, seemed to be working this inning. Johnson comes set, his 1-2 delivery, swung on and missed by Bozzetti. So the Miners, after so many scoreless innings, come on fire and drop 5 runs in the top of the 12th inning to grab a 6-1 lead over the Anchorage Bucs. We'll move into the 12th and see if the Miners can close it out and head home to Palmer with a victory. Welcome back into what could quite possibly be the final inning of play here in Anchorage. Taking us 12 innings to get here, but with an impressive lead, the Miners lead the Bucs 6-1 after a 5-run explosion in the top half of this 12th inning. So on to close things out is still Spencer Henson. He's already gone 3 scoreless. He looks to finish the job with 4 scoreless. He misses low and away to Logan Enos to start this one. So the 1-0 is smacked over to first, and Walters calls Henson off and makes the play for out number 1 in the inning. So the Bucs are down to their final 2 outs of the game. First out, people say, is always the hardest one, and Henson does it right there. So Henson on the mound. 1 down, stepping in is J.C. Correa. He was the bad guy in game 1 for the Miners. He hit the walk-off hit. Does not have the opportunity to do so with this one. Can't help his team out by reaching. Nevertheless, the Miners would like to just see a 3-up, 3-down and get out of here finally. What has been, I believe, over a 4-hour ball game.
Yeah, we're just around 4 hours. YouTube gives us a 3-hour time, but obviously more time has passed than that.
So Henson drops one on that lower corner, tie up the count of 1 down, top of the 12th inning. Miners leading the Bucs 6-1. Henson from the wind, nice breaking pitch that barely misses inside. Correa today has not gotten a hit, but has reached twice in the 5th and 10th innings as he looks at a ball inside to move to a hitter's count, 3-1. So Henson trying to go for this 4th inning of shutout relief and become the winning pitcher. His 3-1 just misses high, and Henson kind of shakes his head, wondering where that one was. So J.C. Carrera reaches. And that brings up Willie Escala, who, if you remember, came in to pinch hit back in the 10th inning and now has been playing short ever since. He did have the sac fly that had an opportunity that put Buck into scoring position, but couldn't do anything out of it. Rather, it actually moved Van de Break on to third. 2 outs, but nothing happened. So Henson misses with the 1-0. Or rather, misses, makes it 1-0, and then hits for the 1-0 on the lower outside corner, 1-1. Beg your pardon. The 1-1 count. One down, top of the 12th. Miners lead 6-1. The pitch from Henson. Big breaker. Rocked it in there for strike number 2. So Henson ahead in the count, 1-2. Double play possibility is out there with a runner on first for the Bucs. Henson comes set. That wind is still howling out there. Kicks and fires. Breaking pitch that originally had Escala trying to jump out of the way. Instead, it dives in for strike 3, and the Bucs are down to their final out of the ball game.
That was a nice bender from Bubba. Looked like it was going to hit him. Curved right over the strike zone. A perfect pitch for a guy who hasn't pitched since March 21st. What a performance over these past 4 innings.
So in the bottom of the 12th, there is 2 outs, and Spencer Henson has the opportunity to shut the door as Brennan Bro stands in. Looks at a ball outside. Bring the count to 1-0. Henson will be from the stretch as he was in the last batter. Correa on first. They will not try to hold him on. So Henson kicks and fires. Correa will steal second. Once again, they'll just go ahead and give it to him. They may let him steal third as well, as Henson missed outside for ball 2 to move the count to 2-0.
Not to say that that run doesn't matter, but in a 6-1 ball game in the top of the 12th, that run doesn't matter.
So Henson's 2-0. That hits that lower inside corner for strike 1. Moves the count to 2-1. 2 down. Bottom of the 12th inning. Miners lead 6-0 after dropping 5 runs in the upper half of the 12th inning. So Henson comes set. He's down on the count, 2-0. Kicks and pitches. And will miss low. Hitters count now to Brennan Bro. Definitely seen some stranger things in baseball, but the way Henson's pitching definitely looked like could slam the door. So he'll look in, get his pitch, comes set. He'll come from the torso. The 3-1 just misses on the outer corner, and Henson's saying, really? We're going to nitpick? As he just stares down home plate umpire Brad Polk. So the Bucs have 2 on now with 2 out. Runners on first and second. They still trail 6-1 as pitching coach Jeff Erlab will take a visit to the mound. A great opportunity to thank our official sponsor of the internet broadcast, the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, and owner Jim Ruda. Go into any of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts stores and enter for a chance to win a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in today or tomorrow for your chance to win.
Or the next day.
As the meeting is adjourned, 2 outs, 2 men on for the Bucs. They trail by 5. That's the number of runs the Miners posted in the top half of the 12th inning. And standing into the plate after the 2-out walk is Tanner Treadaway, the second baseman, who flew out in his last at-bat. 1 for 5 on the day. He blasts one over to the right side of the field. That is going to be foul for strike number 1. So 2 strikes closer, or 1 strike closer from getting out of this one with a victory and splitting today's doubleheader. Spencer Henson. Bucs won in walk-off fashion back in the first game, and the Miners having late game heroics of their own here in game 2. So Henson will come set 0-1. 2 down, top of the 12th. His pitch, big breaker, dives in. So the Bucs once again are down to the final strike of the ball game. 0-2, 2 down. Miners lead 6-1. Henson on the mound. Treadaway at the plate. Righty on righty matchup. 2 runners on for the Bucs. As Henson shakes on his pitch, he comes set. Looks in. The 0-2 with 2 outs. Big breaker has Treadaway frozen up, and that'll do it. After this marathon of a ball game, the Miners come sprinting through the finish line with 5 runs in the 12th inning to win 6-1 over the Anchorage Bucs. So they'll split today's doubleheader, losing game 1, but they do win game 2. That brings them to a 5-6 record, 1 game under 500, and will drop the Anchorage Bucs to 5-6 as well. So the Miners will see a few days off before they return home on Tuesday against the Chinooks at 7 p.m., where there will be 2 games, with first game scheduled at 4, be a doubleheader. First pitch of the first game scheduled at 4, and then second game will follow shortly after. And for the final time tonight, it's been an exciting one. Connor, final thoughts since we don't have a post-game show tonight.
No, it was just amazing how, Hunter Jump was able to be involved in the game. He had a terrific put out from the outfield to save it and put it into extra innings. Big Bubba, Spencer Henson coming in to pitch. He hasn't pitched since March 21st. So amazing performances from multiple Miners tonight to give them this win, and hopefully this sparks them to get them on a little winning streak. They've been 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win. Now let's see if they can settle down, win 2 in a row, and get the train on rolling.
And as you mentioned, back on a winning streak. Now, after dropping 4 in a row, have won 2 out of the past 3 games. All these 3 games have been played against the Bucs, so 2 rivalry wins against the Bucs. It took us 12 innings to get to this point, but I think we're finally ready to sign off from here in Anchorage. Once again, your final score tonight, the Miners, after a 5-run explosion in the top of the 12th inning, get the win 6-1. For Connor Mills, this is Brad Walker, and as always, it's been a pleasure.